I'm just saying one to you.
Yes. I can't wait.
When I send her this picture, I don't think they know how big they are.
Yes.
Woo! Hey.
I can't wait to do it.
All right, let's go over here. I think my biggest takeaway yesterday, or in the last 2 days, was my power sentence. It came to me, it was, is that okay with you? And I never even thought that was my power sentence, you know. So I'm shifting that. So I want to be careful that your power sentence isn't a question. You want to answer the question and let that be your power sentence. You know what you want it to be? That I know what I want. Yeah. So and I can go get it. Yes, so good. And I wanted to offer you $25 for that white box. That white box? Yeah. Is worth a lot more than $25. 100? We'll get that. No. We should have an auction. That would be so fun. Okay, let's go here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Brooke, I was really mad at you yesterday.
Oh, good.
Like, really, really mad. Like, I gave you the silent treatment last night. Did you
did?
100%. I was so mad.
You're like, that's it.
That's it, Brooke.
This actually happened to me. This is funny. This actually happened to me where I blocked someone on, it was a guy. I blocked him, and then he texted me from another number to tell me that he had blocked me.
He's very,
I was like, noted. That's okay, so I had the silent treatment last night.
Yes, you had the silent treatment last night. I was very mad. Okay. And then I decided, how can what happened yesterday, how is that good for me?
Yeah.
And I started going through, how is this good for me? And I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then this morning at 5:30, my eyes opened.
Yes.
And this little fluttery thought went by. And the thought was, it's not fair. I just graduated coach certification October 17th with some amazing coaches in this room. And my thought was, it's not fair. We didn't get to go to Miami.
No, you get to go to Miami.
Well, not included in my coach certification.
Yeah, but you can still go.
I can still go, absolutely.
For cost. Welcome.
I asked actually for the glittery little lanyard, and I was told $5,000 too. So.
And for what?
I was told $5,000 for the glittery lanyard.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but my point is that I started to ask myself, I got curious, I'm like, what else in my life isn't fair? And I started going through all the things that I've given up, and I said goodbye to, and I said I'm not going to do because it wasn't fair, and it's been the biggest dream stealer. That thought, it's not fair, has taken away so many dreams, and I didn't even know it.
Yes, that is so good. We don't want life to be fair, y'all.
Thank you. I made up with you, by the way. We're now besties again.
We're good now?
I unblocked you, and we're talking.
Are we going to Miami or not?
Well, I don't really love Miami. I lived there for 20 years. It's not really my thing.
But you love me.
I love you. Yes.
I'm going to be in Miami with you.
Okay. Am I going? Are you inviting me?
Yes, you are invited.
Included in my coach certification?
No.
Can I get a glittery lanyard?
For $5,000.
I still love you, Brooke.
All right. Do we have someone on virtual? Nikisha. Let's go.
Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hardly have a voice, but I'm here and I'm loving this. So, it's nice to meet you. And before yesterday, I didn't know who you were. I didn't have
any idea. And you decided to be a certified coach?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh!
Yes. So this is a big one, guys. This is a really big testimony for me. So I showed up because of Gretchen Hernandez, who's in the crowd with you, who was my coach.
Oh,
and she did your model with me because I own a business. And she has been a savior to my business because she helped me generate over 80K this year because of modeling and getting really good. So she told me on Friday, Nikisha, you should be here for this. Don't know who you are, like I said, had no clue you existed. And I told her I needed a push because I was in the process of trying to make a decision for a $5,000 investment that I couldn't do. And she pushed me by saying, join us virtually. And I gave her an excuse because that's what we all do. We always lie to ourselves. And then I realized I lied to myself, and then I did it, right? So after doing it, I came yesterday, and everything you speak on is what I already believe. So it was really powerful, and it was intentional that I was there, because I wasn't meant to be there. Like I said, no clue. And yesterday, when you mentioned the offer and the numbers, yes, I was terrified, like so many other people. But I can't even express to you. I was terrified, but I asked my questions, and then Shani was in the room, and I told them I'm going to speak to my husband when he comes. And it wasn't for his permission, but it was to include him because he's my partner, and I'm always going to include him. And when I sat down with him, first I gave him the warning. I was like, listen, I have to tell you something. We have to sit down eye to eye. And I'm telling you, I'm terrified, but I'm doing it. So I need to tell you this. And guess what I did? I sat him down, and I did the model with him. And it was so good. I've been practicing the model already on my niece, on my husband. I love it. And I told him, what's the thought? At the circumstances, Nikisha's invested. And I go, what's your thought? And he had a thought that when you would like, is she going to make her money, right? Is she going to make something after this? And I said, well, what was your feeling? And he's like, worried. And I was like, when you're worried, what's your action? And he questioned it.
And then when he questions it, what does that do to me? The result is I question it, right? I become uncertain. So I had him shift it. I said, what thought would make you feel encouraged or happy about this? And he said, well, you would make your money back, right? You would actually do something and generate income. And I said, yes. And I'm like, how does that make you feel? He's like, that feels good. And then what would be your action? Support. He won't question me. And I was like, yes. So I'm doing a life coach program, and it's going to be $21,000 because I'm doing this 7 months. And
you are a genius.
And I was like, and I loved it.
Genius.
I loved it because he's supporting me. And what happened this morning, because I said I'm going to sleep on it, right? And I love it because I didn't get more uncomfortable. I got so much more comfortable, as you can see. So this morning I woke up, and I have a really good friend, and me and her speak sporadically, but she sent me a message, and she said, the love and the passion I have for people in the world. And her message hit me so hard because this step is that I know what I can do, and I know how great I am. I don't question that. And I do this on a normal basis, but this is the step that's going to make me be the millionaire in a shorter period of time that I believe. It's soon, it's not 10 years, it's not 5 years. And I'm so thankful.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
I can always know. It's crazy when someone first signs up by what they say if they're going to be a millionaire. And you for sure are going to be one.
Thank you.
It's already done. Can you guys agree?
Yeah, and it's very fun.
Let's go.
I'm excited. Thank you, Brooke. See you in Miami as well.
What'd you say?
See you in Miami.
Oh, let's go to Miami. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go over here.
Hi, Brooke. My name's Amy Scott, and I am a financial coach in Baltimore, Maryland, and I do financial coaching for badass, purpose-driven women who want to get their financial shit together.
Love it.
And what I want to share this morning is that the biggest aha for me out of the weekend is how every next step I've taken in my business over the last 5 years has been like incrementally bigger, and not necessarily allowing myself to get into a place of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And my practice is full now, and I'm kind of playing around with what's next, and I'm like, oh, this will be a fun weekend to kind of see what's next. And what I got was, in my heart of hearts, I want to impact hundreds of thousands of women around the world to let go of the thoughts that they have that are keeping them from investing in themselves, right? Which financial chaos and mess does, especially for women. And I'm scared to create something that I may not be good at. Like, I know that I'm good at the one-on-one coaching. I know I'm comfortable with that.
Right.
And what is it going to take to be uncomfortable? But I can't not go for that because it's already been, that vision is already there for me. Like my future self is already like, let's go and take it in my hand.
I'm so glad. Listen, a couple things I want to say to you. One of them is, if you just keep trying to improve what you already have, you're just going to keep being who you already are.
Yeah.
And we don't normally think about improvement like that, right? But if you say, are you willing to share like where you're at financially and what your goals are?
Sure.
Okay, so where are you at now?
I'm at about, for this year, about 86,000.
86,000, where do you want to be?
I want to be at $1 million a year.
$1 million, right? So you can't take what you're doing right now and just incrementally improve it to get to $1 million. That's what I love about $1 million. You have to think on a whole new level.
Yeah.
Right? So if you get to the point, like this happens to me too. Like if I get too close to like a touch point, I start focusing on the touch point, I lose sight of the bigger goal, my thinking becomes smaller. I didn't even notice this was happening to me until one day I was like, wait, why am I feeling stressed? Why am I feeling scarcity? And it was because my goal was too little. It was wild. So setting that bigger goal for yourself will make you, there's no way you can do it with this, so you'll stop thinking about this. You'll have to let this go in order to go to that next level. And that's a very painful process.
I'm scared of
Yeah, it's very scary. It's very painful. We call it the barf factor. You know you're on the right track if that's happening because, and even with my students that are very successful, I'm always pushing them to go to that next, like, exponential goal. And the other thing is that, you talk about women investing in themselves. Since I've had a lot of money, a lot of people want to tell me what to do with it, right, in terms of financial counseling, and I always listen to everyone. And one of the things that I'm told a lot is that I should invest in this company or that company or this insurance or this place. And they're always telling me what the return on my investment could be, and it's just not even close to what it could be if I invest in myself.
Yeah.
And I always try to explain it to them. I'm like, they're like, you could make 12%.
Right.
I'm like, yo, listen, if I take that money and I invest it in me and my own company, I can 10 times it in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, I really can.
Yeah.
And so teaching, I think the best investment we have is in our own brains, is in our own learning, is in our own involvement, because that is where the true security is. No one can take that away from us.
Yeah.
And yet we're not taught that at all, right? We're taught the opposite. Invest in other people and other businesses and other things and let your money work for them instead of letting it work for us. So I really honor and applaud your work. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we have over here?
Hi, my name is.
Oh my God, hang on a second, sir. Right here in the jacket, what's your name? Yes. Charlie, stand up. Let me see you in that jacket. Come on. You guys get a video on him. You look amazing. I love this jacket on everyone. Thank you for. You love it too? Come on, that's amazing. And that's the one. It looks amazing on you. Congrats. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
I almost lost my nerve with that commercial with Charlie's jacket.
Right?
So my name is Jody. I was wrestling with your model last night, and oh my God, sweaty girl's got nothing on me.
Do it sweaty.
So I have a thought that keeps coming back, and yep, I completely buy into, I can change my thought, and I can do it on a dime, and I can do it faster, and I don't have to wallow in it, and I get all that. But what I'm not getting from the model is, what if the thought's real? What if there's something behind that thought?
There always is.
Well, don't you have to deal with that?
Do you want to do an example?
Okay.
What is the thought that's real?
My thought that's real is my daughter is slowly killing herself with her weight.
Okay. So I need my flip chart, please. So this is what you need to know. Any thought that you believe in is going to feel real to you. Okay?
And might it be real? I don't mean to interrupt, but can't the thought be real? This is a real
What makes something real?
facts.
Okay. So are you 100% factually sure that your daughter is killing herself?
I am 100% factually sure that blood test results and everything show that her body is starting to, I don't know, react negatively to the weight. I mean, I don't know. She couldn't have surgery because the doctors wouldn't.
Okay, are those two things different?
No, she's harming herself.
That's your interpretation of the facts. This is really important that you understand the difference. Okay? So, give me a specific result of a test.
She has a fatty liver.
Sorry.
She has a fatty liver.
She has a fatty liver.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
22 years old.
She's 22 years old, and she has a fatty liver. That was the diagnosis that the doctor said.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the fact, right? We can agree that this is the fact.
Yep.
She is killing herself is the thought. You see that?
Yep.
She is killing herself. Could we put that in the C line?
If I put the word slowly in there, I would say yes.
You can't put that in the C line because it's not a fact. You don't know if it's true. There's no way you could know that. You could guess at that. You could interpret that, but it's not a fact.
Doesn't science back that up?
Well, it doesn't matter if science backs it up for other people. For your daughter, you don't know that she's killing herself. She may have a fatty liver until she's 120. But you're choosing, you get this information and you choose to think she is killing herself. Now, whether it's true or not, it could be true that she's killing herself. It could also be true that she's not. Can you find that?
I'm struggling with that.
She may not be killing herself. She may be fine. Could that possibly be true? Is there a percentage where that could be true, where someone's had a fatty liver and didn't kill themselves?
Without a change of behavior, I would doubt it, I think.
What's that?
I think without a change of behavior, if she continues, then...
But no, just leaving it the way it is. Is there a sliver of possibility that she's not killing herself? And that she'll be fine? There's no way for you to know that, right? So it can't be a fact that she's killing herself. I just want to show you, when you think the thought she's killing herself, how do you feel?
Crushed.
Okay, so I want you to see it's not the fatty liver that's making you feel crushed. It's this piece right here. Okay? Now listen, even if something's true, because you don't want to give this up as true, I'm going to let you have it as true, okay? People are dying all the time from hunger, right? And when I think that people are dying of starvation, people are dying of hunger, I feel terrible. And even though that thought is true, I choose not to think about it all the time. Is that fair? Even though it's true. So even though something is true, I don't have to think about it all the time. So when I look at a thought, I want to see, is this thought serving me in my life? So when you feel crushed, how do you act towards your daughter?
I just love her. I just love her more.
Okay, so tell me what that looks like.
Holding her when we're together, spending time with her. trying to be an example for her,
Okay, what does that look like, trying to be an example to her?
eating the same damn Caesar salad with a piece of grilled salmon on the top, dressing on the side.
Do you ever talk to her about it?
I have tried. It's not a good conversation for us to have, so I really don't.
Okay. What do you do when you feel crushed and you're not with her?
Read, try to figure out a way, maybe become a life coach to try to figure things out for her. I think maybe that's one of the reasons I'm standing here.
You're trying to figure out how to solve it for her?
Just to be more knowledgeable. I can't solve it for her. She has to want it. I do know that.
Okay, so what I want to show you is what you're doing when you start like reading and trying to solve for it. That's a different thought. That's in a different model. Okay, and you have to pay attention because this is where it can get a little bit tricky. So you start feeling crushed, and then you think a thought like, "Oh, I'm going to help her," or "I'm going to solve this," or "I'm going to fix it," or "I'm going to help her save her life." And then you go to a new model where the feeling is determined, and then you come to life coach school and try and learn a bunch of stuff so you can create a result for her, right? Okay? So that's a whole nother model. So what I want you to understand is when you think this thought and you feel crushed, there is an action that comes from this that is not going to be serving you. And every time I ask you about it, you're switching to a new model, trying to solve for this. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay, but I don't see myself doing that, obviously.
Right. I'm just pointing it out to you. So feeling crushed in this situation because of your thought is not going to serve you. And so I want to understand how it's not serving you. Are you feeling depressed? What is going on? When you're feeling crushed, that's not a motivating feeling.
Right, I bury myself in work and joy is sapped out of my life.
Yeah. Okay, you bury yourself in work and the joy is zapped out of your life, right? And so then you're not being an example in this model.
Correct.
Right? So what I want you to see is that this thought is optional. Even though you may believe that it's true, you don't have to think it. And eventually we can question whether it's even true. Okay? Well, let me ask you, what would you rather think about when you think about your daughter, even with this diagnosis?
I'd like to think my daughter will now finally be motivated to take better care of herself.
Right. So here's what I want you to see. You have tied your emotions to what your daughter does or doesn't do. And so the only way you get to feel better is by controlling her. And controlling other people just doesn't work. You've already tried. It's not working with her, right?
Right.
So when you think about her, is there a thought you could think that wouldn't make you feel like you have to control her or save her or fix her or have it be different?
She'll get it together.
Right.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. This is you still trying to change it. And one of the things, one of kind of these intermittent things that we can do is decide, okay, this is what's happening. I get to decide who I'm going to be in this situation. What is the best version of me? How do I want to feel in this situation? And you can decide that consciously. So you ask yourself, do I want to feel crushed? Because right now you're saying, this is true, so I don't have a choice. So you've given all your power away, which is what you're angry at her for doing, yeah?
Yeah.
You see it? You're doing the same thing, just in a different way. So how do you want to feel here without changing this?
Encouraged.
Encouraged? Okay, now, my question is, can you feel encouraged without changing her? Without fixing anything?
No.
Right. So we might aim for a different emotion that you can feel without trying to fix this, because this emotion isn't going to serve you ultimately.
Love.
Love. Okay. So when you think about this, what would you need to think in order to feel love?
She's a beautiful human being.
Sorry?
She's a beautiful human being.
She's a beautiful human being. And love. And then the action you can take, and I actually think that you're already doing this model because you said you would go and you would hold her and you would connect with her, but not from a she's dying and killing herself kind of way, but from an I love you, and I'm here and I'm present and I accept you kind of way. You feel the difference between those?
I do.
So listen, this is optional. This is a very terrifying, scary, painful thought. It is not one that you have to think. It is your choice. Now, I want to offer this. Sometimes we think a thought like this is necessary. Like that we're being somehow irresponsible if we're not thinking this. But I want to tell you, I want to offer you that you can have a different thought here that would be much more productive for you and for her. And the way that you know is because this feeling is positive and doesn't make you want to bury yourself or suck the joy out of your life. So watch your brain, she's killing herself, she's killing herself, she's killing herself all day long telling you that. That is going to cause your body not to function at the highest level that it could. Okay? So that thought is optional. Choose to think something that you feel is as responsible, but doesn't fill your body with that kind of cortisol and pain because it's unnecessary suffering that's not going to serve you. Okay?
Got it.
Deal? Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. I think that was helpful.
Okay, please
Okay. I need to move on, and we will come back. I promise. Sorry. We will come back. I really want to get through a short exercise with you because it was so life-changing for me, and I did this recently, and I want to make sure you all have a chance to do it. Inside of each of us are things we don't like, are things that we're ashamed of, are things that we want to hide. We don't want anyone else to know about. They're like our own opinions about ourselves, characteristics about ourselves that maybe other people judge us for, things we don't like. You've heard people talk about maybe it's like your the shadow side of you, the 50% of you that isn't amazing. And we have been brought up in a society where the goal is to be perfect and good. Try to be as good as you can be, right? And so we recognize inside of us, all of us secretly, that we're not 100% good in the traditional way that it's presented to us. We have these parts inside of us that are the other side of being human, that are negative. So traits like being bitchy or mean or angry or judgmental or lazy and entitled, right? So what I'd like you all to do for just like 5 minutes, I'm going to put a 5-minute timer on, and you don't look at anyone else's paper because they don't want you to know. Okay? But just write down those things that you believe are true about you, that you don't want anyone else, including you, to know about, and you keep pushing those away or trying to hide them from the world and from yourself. Okay? This is brave work. Try to get like 3 different things, maybe, write down 3 different things and maybe give some examples of where those things are in your life. Okay? Can I get 5 minutes? Okay. Can I get my mic back? Hello? I can't. I would like my mic back, please. Like you have a minute. It's okay. Okay. How was that? Super fun? Super great? Did anyone have a hard time coming up with anything? I mean, a lot of times it's hard because we push it away. We don't want to look at it. We pretend it's not there. I want you to think about those three things as not things that you're supposed to get rid of, not things that you should try to be less of, not things that you need to work on, but just consider thinking of those things as the other half of the positive, right, the 50-50, that are actually very useful for you in your life. Can you find, if you look at one of those characteristics or one of the things that you've written down, how it has served you in your life to have that characteristic? And what if you could accept it and embrace it? You've heard me talk a lot about being willing to not argue with reality, which is a concept I learned from Byron Katie, is just letting the world be what the world is and stop trying to control it or negotiate that it should be different. And I have found when I access the parts of me that aren't acceptable to me or to the world because we've been told that they aren't acceptable, and I accept them, they become less of a problem and more of an asset in my life. Now, the other piece to this exercise that you can do for homework is write down the 3 things that bother you the most in other people. And then find them in yourself. Because they're there, for sure, in you. And here's what happens when you do this. I grew up really hating myself, genuinely, self-loathing myself. And it was because I had all these things that were human that I thought were unacceptable. And when I started accepting all of those things within me, and I started loving myself, and then I started realizing all the things that I was projecting onto other people were also things that I had within me. And I started loving those things as well and embracing them as assets and as part of the human condition. It made it so much easier to love everyone else unconditionally. Because listen, if you can love yourself unconditionally, I think it's the hardest person to love unconditionally, because the brain has so much judgment about ourselves that everyone else becomes easy to love. And I want you to imagine what life would be like if you loved everyone. If every face you saw, if every person you encountered, you actually loved them, how much better life would be and more interesting. And if you walk up to someone and you're like, I love this person, and I haven't even met them yet, how you would approach them different and connect with them different and show up different and learn about them in a different way. And so this one exercise, I think, is the course in unconditional love. It's easy to love ourselves when we're doing everything well and we're doing nice things. I used to find it much easier to love myself when I was people-pleasing, right? Because I felt like I was being a good girl. But when you can love yourself, when you're like hating on people and mad at yourself and doing the things wrong and not figuring out the model and not doing, not doing all the things, not making the money, whatever. If you can love yourself through all of that and accept yourself through all of that, life becomes so much better. I promise you. So when you hear all these voices in your head tell you how bad you are, be like, duh, this is part of it. It's okay. I don't have to be 100% good. I remember thinking this thought, you don't ever have to be better than you are. You are a perfect human being, and perfect human beings have both negative and positive in them. And we never know anyone else's story and why they are the way they are. And for you, and I'm talking to you right now, the you that thinks you've done something that is unforgivable, the you that has something in your past that you don't want anyone to know about, that shame that you have about you being bad or you being wrong is part of the human experience. I've coached thousands of people. Everyone I coach on this thinks they're the only one that has this. And what I have learned is that we all have it. I see my shame in me. I see the things that I think are unforgivable, and I don't even have to forgive them when I understand they're part of my human journey. And then I can look at everyone else and I can understand, like, I can stand in judgment of them because I want to be righteous and good. But at what point do we decide who's better or worse than us? So if we start putting people and start judging them based on how good they are, where do we fall in that? And typically we're our worst judge. So I have found the perspective of everyone's human. I don't know what anyone else's journey is. I don't know why they're having that journey, but I can love them. There's nothing they can do about it. It has made my life so much better. So I want to invite each of you to at least start with yourself and say, maybe that thing that I think I did, or maybe this thing that I think I am, isn't bad or wrong. Maybe it's just part of who I am and part of my human journey and part of my human experience. Is that a deal? Can we make? At least try for 5 minutes to love ourselves? Okay, perfect. All right, let's do some more coaching. Go ahead and stand up there. Let's talk about the thing you hate the most about yourself and why. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. Whatever you want coaching on, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm actually going to talk about the thing I've been struggling with forever.
Okay.
Because it's a happy thing. So
okay.
Talking about doing it sweaty, I don't know if anyone knows what hyperhidrosis is, but it's a sweating condition where you sweat excessively. And it's hyperhidrosis month, by the way. So I discovered your podcast in February. I'm really nervous, sorry. And since discovering that, it's allowed me to deal with the thing that's bothered me the most, which is my sweating my entire life. And I've embraced it, and I've created a business around it. So now I have a company called Dewdrop that creates clothing for women who excessively sweat. So
amazing.
I empower women. So
I love it.
And coaching fits right into that. So I think I'm going to sign up to be a certified coach.
Let's go.
It's a big mental game, and there's a lot of shame around it. So I love you all. And if you're dealing with something difficult, empower yourself and embrace it. So
amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's so great. Let's go, Gabby. Let's bring Gabby up. Hi.
Hi.
What's up, Gabby?
How are you?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Oh, I didn't know I was going to get picked. Now I feel like I'm blushing like crazy. Okay, let's see. You know, a lot of realizations this weekend. And, but, you know, the thing is, like, Brooke, in 2019, I found you, right? Like, I came across the model, which changed my life. I completely changed my career, and within the first year of, you know, of sort of seeing what's possible, I made $1 million. So, you know,
let's go!
Because of you, and what you have taught us, you know, and now I'm in a point where I want more. You know, I'm like, do I stay the same, or do I get really more uncomfortable because it's been uncomfortable, and I am scared shitless, you know, like I don't know what that will look like just yet, and I want to get to $10 million, and just talking about it.
I mean, if you only knew what it looked like.
I guess I wouldn't be scared.
Like, I don't know what it looks like, but I want to get to $10 million.
I don't know what it
That's
looks
what it looks like.
Okay, well,
yeah, you do.
The process, you know, that's what I'm talking about, and I'm scared about it. I'm sweating, and I guess this is like the recurring theme of the weekend. And you know, it's like I know what I need to do, and I know that it needs to be uncomfortable in order for me to get there. But there is like hesitation because I don't want to be uncomfortable, and I don't want to get myself out there, and I know that it's gonna be a lot of work, and I think I'm being lazy about it. You know what I mean? That's where my struggle is, and that's where I'm at. Like,
yeah, you're like right on time. Everything's perfect. Nothing has gone wrong here.
Okay.
Welcome to the journey to $10 million. This is how it's going to be. Evolving, right? Becoming who you are and constantly wanting to keep evolving will feel like this. The only time you're not going to be in that what you perceive as a struggle is when you're not growing.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that, you know, I feel uncomfortable, right? And I know what needs to be done. So I just need to feel uncomfortable and do it.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you for telling us. Do you have any other questions?
No, you know, on Friday, after the thing, I told my husband, it was like a big aha moment. I was like, everything is already inside of me. Like, it's all there. I just need to tap it.
It just needs to happen. That's exactly right. Let's go. 10 million. Woo! So good. All right, let's go to here.
I'm so excited. Hi, I'm Miriam Schulman. I joined Scholars a couple years ago. I saw this checkout page. I said, there's no way this is worth $300 a month. 4 years later, I'm here. In 2021, you asked me to set an impossible goal. I decided to get a book contract. It's here.
Let's go!
It's coming out January 31st. That's my commercial. But I want everyone to know that you have to believe. I chose to believe so hard, and I want to thank all the coaches who helped me in Scholars. You know who you are? Because it turned me inside out. And it's like that 50-50. It's here, and now I'm scared shitless.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to promote it now? What?
Yeah.
People might hate it. What? So thank you, Brooke, for your work, and I want to thank all the Scholar coaches who's helped me along this journey and know all my dirty secrets.
Amazing. Thank you for being an example of what is possible. Beautiful. All right, let's go here.
Hi. Hello? Can I come up?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's go. Hi.
Hello? Okay. All right. I am amazing.
Yes.
Yes. I am extraordinary.
Yes.
You guys, let's do this. I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
I am a bariatric patient, and I had a bariatric surgery back in 2016 that literally my body rejected, and I've had 9 surgeries since then, and I've fought so hard my whole entire life with obesity, and it all stems from a cycle of abuse when, you know, I was a child and stuff with an alcoholic father and an abusive brother. And this is going to get really emotional, so I'm really trying to keep it together.
Okay, wait, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
That you don't tell me the whole story,
Okay.
and that we just coach from
So
here.
this is the thing. I love you, and everything that you are and everything that you've been to me has already gotten me here. I am a life coach. I am in my heart. I have a message. I have a skill set from all of my adversities. That is huge. There is one thing as to why I am not back at that table signing up, and that is I have been on disability. I literally make $17,000 a month. All right, I wish. Yeah, that's in the future, guys. $17,000 a year. Okay, I cannot afford it. I've asked because of my doctor bills. My credit is shot. Right, so I would go into debt for this because I know 100% that this is where I am. There are people out there that need me. That is so deep, that calling you've been talking about. So I've taken everything and I've made an offer. May I give it?
You're making an offer to whom?
I need to anybody out there that is willing to bet on me 100% that I can do this work. I will be amazing and I can help so many people. I just need a sponsor to fund me the money so I can sign up and be a life coach.
Okay, let me help you. When you're making an offer, what's important when you make an offer?
I have...
No. Don't look at your notes. Just to answer me, because this is like a quiz. when you're making an offer to someone.
What's important is what I can provide to the service I can provide to them, the value I can provide to them.
Yes.
Right?
So you have to know where they are
Okay.
and what matters to them.
Right.
And what you can provide to them that will over-deliver to them. And you need to work on this. You're not ready for it yet.
Okay.
Okay? I want you to really think about it. Because you have to understand, if you're trying to offer it to this audience, you have to understand this audience.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And you have, it doesn't matter who your audience is, you have to understand what it is they value and what's important to them. You know what I'm saying? And so you understand their before, and then if they accept your offer, and you have to be very specific what that offer is and what you're asking for, then what will they get to do? And this is the problem. The way you presented your offer is what most people do. Right? They say, this is where I'm at, meaning you, and this is what I will get to do. And I just want to offer to so many people email me and do this. They're like, hey, could you do this for me? Because this would be great for me. I would love it if you would, and they make me an offer to do something for them that benefits them. And it's not a good way to do an offer in any way in your life. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So an offer is always, and wouldn't that feel good for you to help me, is kind of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't you feel great if you were able to make me win?
But my offer is to help so many people that need me.
But you're offering to them.
Yeah.
What are you offering them?
My skill set, my value.
But how? How is your skill set and value going to benefit them? That's what you need to think about.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to offer something to them, it has to be irresistible to them, and your success isn't irresistible to them. When you're making an offer to someone, y'all, this is real. They don't care about you. Nor should they. That's not their job. So for example, I get a lot of pitches where people come to me and they're like, hey, can I do your videos? I want to do your videos. I think your videos could be better. I want to do your videos. I think I could be really good at your videos, and that would really benefit me because I'm trying to build my business. Right? All the time. In every different subject, people send me this stuff. But the guy that did my videos for the longest time just sent me 7 videos that he had. What? Man, I didn't know you were here! Are you kidding me? I love him so much. So he sent me just all these videos that he had created with my podcast voice in the background and said, here, I think you would love these. I ended up hiring him. He did videos forever. He made an offer to me that benefited me, where he put his skin in the game first. I benefited, and then I was willing to have a relationship. So I love that you brought this up as an example for everyone, because it's very endearing that you can't afford it and that you want people to help you. But it's not endearing enough for people to help you, because you have to be thinking about them. How will they benefit in an irresistible way that will over-deliver to them? So go back to your thing and sit down and write that up, and do it based on what I taught you, right? So what is their before, not your before, but what is their before they invest in you, and thereafter they invest in you. You being successful isn't enough for them. You have to find out what's in it for them, okay? Deal?
Yeah,
That's your assignment. No, you got to go think about it. You definitely aren't ready. Give me hugs. You're welcome. Okay, leave that microphone. Okay, who's next? Let's go here. Yes.
May I come up?
Yes. And then Veronica, we'll go to you next.
Hyperhidrosis. It's real. Okay, hi, Brooke. Hi. I am a body and mind life coach, so helping people heal chronic pain. And I've had some great success with one-on-ones, and I feel like I can really offer confidently because I've seen people go through 6 months and amazing transformations. And then I've done some small groups, and now I have a membership, which I thought people would just flock to because the price is lower. And I've done so many consults with people who talked about the price. And then my membership is growing slower than I thought. I'm like shaking. And I think it's about the offer. And I think where I'm getting hung up is...
Well, the reason you did a membership is the problem.
Because of how I phrased it, because of the price, I'm doing a lower,
Because it came from scarcity. You can't create an offer that's going to create abundance if you're creating it from scarcity.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter what the price is. Listen, I've paid some crazy prices.
I think the part that's difficult for me is just knowing what I can offer. Like with Scholars, you had the list of before and after and what people, will look like after. And I feel like I could do that if I knew they were working with me one-on-one. But with the membership where it's just like people can come and go, I don't know if they're going to do the work, I don't know.
Listen to all your thoughts about this membership. Anyone want to sign up? Nobody wants to sign up for this membership because you don't even believe in it.
Yeah. And I actually,
because notice, you don't even believe in your client doing the work.
Right.
I believe in my clients doing the work. I'm like, this is the most amazing program in the world. You're going to sign up, you're going to get my life's work, and you're going to change your life. I'm not even in there, barely.
Yeah.
And people go in there like, I've never even met them. They're like, I've lost 100 pounds just watching your one course. I've never even talked to you, right? So I believe in it. They come in, and I believe in their success so they can believe in their success. You don't believe in your clients, and you're offering it because you think your price was too high. You see it? Yeah. So clean that up, and you're going to be rich.
Yeah, and I guess yes, I will be. Yes, and it feels familiar to when I was starting, and I was like, I can't. How can I offer a 6-month program when I don't know what the results will be? And you want to kind of have a few people go through.
I just would never say something like that. Do you want to sign up for my program? I don't know what your results will be. $5,000.
Yeah. You just, I have gotten coaching on this before, and they would say, like, I'm thinking of the wrong clients when I'm thinking that way. Like, those are not my ideal clients. Someone who's not going.
But you're thinking about the inadequacy of your own client. There's no way you're going to be able to sell like that. You have to think about the adequacy of your program.
Yeah.
And offer it with like no reservation because it's so amazing. But even your own opinion, any of you that have programs or things you're trying to sell, notice how you talk about them. Right? Notice the things that you say about them. It's like a low price. You know what I mean? Even, you didn't present this membership in a way that was sexy and awesome and that you love it so much. Like, I love Scholars so much. You can feel that from me, right?
Yeah.
You're just not loving your membership, and that's because the reason why you created it.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like one-on-ones has its capacity, and I've outgrown that, but so look at my reasons for doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, money could be one of them, right? But just not the only one.
But if you're choosing to do a membership and charge a low price because you think it'll be easier to sell, you're very confused. Memberships are the hardest thing to sell in the world. The hardest thing to sell in the world. So if you're already coming from scarcity, because you have to develop so much trust for someone to give you a credit card and let you charge it every month. Right? And so it's not like, oh, this is so cheap, you should just want it, even though I don't think you're going to succeed. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work for you because we're not working one-on-one, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to work. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So clean that all up.
Okay.
That's all good. Okay. You got it. It's so funny how you can't see it in your own head. Okay. Veronica, let's go. Why does time go so fast?
LFG. Let's go.
Yes. Oh, you're going to work hard, play hard?
Listen, I didn't even know who you were until one day my girlfriend sent me a podcast of yours because I was a little stuck. And Gail Harrington is here today. She's a certified life coach. And I have to say, I said, I want to meet this blonde bombshell because she's my twin. Okay. I can't wait to meet you in Miami. So guess what? I'm not vaccinated. And so I'm going to bet on the government that they're going to let me fly to Miami because I'm in Toronto, Canada. And it's going to be gone by March. So that's what's going to happen. So I need everybody to think about that.
Wait. How are you going to work hard, play hard if you're not a coach?
I signed up yesterday.
Oh, you did? All right, let's go.
I did it.
I just was confused by the thing.
I did it because you said Miami's included, and I went sold, and I signed up.
Done. Amazing. I'm so excited. It's amazing to meet you.
So
Can't wait to see you in Miami.
You're amazing, and I'm raw amazing.
What? Raw?
I'm raw amazing. I'm a raw plant-based expert. And
raw amazing. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. Wait, you know what? You made me
amazing. Nice to meet you. Okay. We're going here next? No, here next, right? Which way am I going? Does anyone remember? That way?
May I come up?
Erica. She's always got my back.
May I come up?
Sure. Did you guys see me throw Erica under the bus yesterday? I told her I was going to. Hi.
I have coached myself on this several times.
Okay.
And I need coaching from you on this.
Okay.
When I was going to join the life coach school last year, I talked to my adult son and said, what do you think? Mom, it's $21,000. That's a lot of money. And you're 70 years old. And he said, what's the return on investment? I said, me.
Yes.
He said, don't you want to retire? I said, no.
I love it.
I have other friends that are my age and older. What are you, crazy? Don't you want to enjoy the rest of your life?
Yeah, I do.
Exactly what I want to do.
I love it. That's amazing.
When I'm by myself and I'm just starting to build a business, the thought creeps in, but Cheryl, you're 71. So it doesn't keep coming up, but it comes up. Even though when I'm confronted from someone, I've got this, I've got that, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But that comes up still for me when I'm by myself.
Yeah, because everyone has their go-to thing, right? We all have our little go-to torture device, don't we? I'm just a little too fat, I'm just a little too young, just a little too old, just not smart, I don't have a college education. Like, we all just have something that we pick. Don't take it personally. That's just yours that you pick, right?
Okay.
Because I think your age makes it so much more exciting. Right? I think it's like so much more inspirational, so much more of an example of what is possible, so much more important. Instead of what you're using it against you, I think you could totally use it for you.
That's good.
Because look at you, right? It's like you made this decision, you're doing this thing, you're showing up, you want to make a contribution, you want to have fun, and when your brain says you're 72, you're like, hell yeah, I am. Right?
Yes.
That's the response to it, and you can use that. How does that benefit you?
It benefits me because it gives me more to offer.
Right, but how does it benefit you that you are 72 years old?
Knowledge. I have more experiences.
Yes. So much more experience. right? So much more to offer the world than someone who's younger, right? Own that. Work it. Who are you coaching?
Menopausal women.
Exactly.
To lose their weight for the last.
Yes, girl. Come on. That's amazing. You don't need any more coaching on this.
Okay.
Don't get any more coaching on this. This is done. Let's just go make some money. Make as much money as you can, just so we'll have an awesome story for you to tell.
Perfect.
Let's go. Okay? Amazing. All right. Where am I heading? Over here. Yes.
Hi. So it's so great to be here, and I'm having an echo, but I wanted to say thank you because I have gotten, I signed up for this. I didn't know we were going to Miami, but I signed up for it because I've already gotten $18,000 worth of value just being here for 2 days.
Yes. Thank you. That's amazing.
And when I texted my husband, I didn't say I'm spending 18. I said I'm saving 17 because I thought it was going to be 35 hours. So he's all excited. And one of the things I just want to say before I ask my question, I was trying to calculate it, but about 30 years ago, I started investing $25 a month. And I didn't come from connections. I had no money. And today, I'm in your group, 0.0001%. And the reason I say that is not to brag. I don't think I'm better than anyone. But I think a lot of people in here really need to know. I didn't have it figured out. I don't feel like I still have it figured out, even though I'm wealthy. And just that belief that you can do it changes everything. So hopefully some of you that spoke, that helps.
Do you like being rich?
I think I'm wealthy, so I see wealthy differently.
Do you like being wealthy?
Well, up until I met you, I did everything to downplay it. I'm around people and, even though we live between 3 houses and we're building a house on the mountain, I downplay it. Like I said to the architect, I don't want to be looking like I live in a mansion. He goes, you're on a mountain in Phoenix overlooking it. And so I started thinking people are going to walk by and say, oh, that rich bitch. And it was
yeah, they are. Let's go.
All this shit started coming up. I'm like, oh my God. And so it didn't bother me until I realized we had hit our net worth goal. So 10 years ago, I set this crazy one that I thought, if I hit it, it'll be 100. And then when we're building this really expensive house, I'm like, I need to look at that. I'm like, oh my God, we've hit our, it's my net worth goal. My husband's not really as motivated about net worth goals as I am. But it was it's kind of freaky. And I will just say there's not enough of us in that top 0.001% that are women.
That's right. We got to bring everyone up here. It's so fun here. I need more rich friends.
Oh, I just love you. I was coaching my husband last night. It's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I'm going to impact people's lives. But make a long story short, so I'm a certified financial planner. For 35 years, I have been intimately advising 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs. And I do a hell of a good job. I mean, keep them wealthy, make them wealthier. And now that I'm getting older, I'm kind of looking at my life. I've ran a really successful performance mastermind for advisors for about 15 years. I know how to get results.
Okay, wait, you got to get to the point where I coach you.
I am. So my point is, I understand about results, and I understand that, but I want to make an impact where I can really help women and their partners create financially free lives they love on a much bigger scale. And my question is, now this is such a unique group, because even though I've met women that are broke, they still have a very different mindset.
Yeah.
What I don't know is, how can I make the most impact with people? Because, you start,
Okay, wait.
Go ahead.
The question is, how can you make the most impact?
Well, because there's different levels. If I start teaching people about how to become a multimillionaire, a lot of women shut down. It's like, I could never do that. They think their ticket is either winning the lottery or not.
That's why you should do it, not the reason you shouldn't.
Okay. And then what do? You start, when you look at the person you're, before, because most of the people I work with are already somewhat successful. How do you gauge that? I know the transformation, but how do you gauge where you're starting at with the people? Are they making...
Okay, listen. This is the answer. Like, because people shut down when you talk about being a multimillionaire, that is where your work is. That is where you really have an impact. It's one thing to tell them how to invest their money. It's another, thing to tell them how to invest in their own mind and what they think and what is possible for them. All right. So you can't ask any more questions. It's answer time. Okay? And so when you're understanding where that customer is right now, that's an actual person you can talk to. You have to decide who exactly do you want to impact and then research and understand them. When you say this is a unique group, you have to understand you can have your own unique group. Mm-hmm. But don't say, well, some people won't like what I'm saying, so therefore I won't say it. Enough people will. Okay. And those are the people that you serve, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, let's do one more.
Hello, Brooke.
Hi. This is the last one, y'all. There'll be more later. Go ahead.
My name is Peggy. I'm kind of terrified because I'm going to expose something that I don't expose.
Okay.
I'm 75, so I have it over the other lady. I live in Napa Valley, which is the wine capital of the U.S.
Yep.
And my whole life, the people I see, the industry I've been in is all about wine.
Okay.
And wine is beginning to control my life. And I came not to learn to coach others, but to coach me.
Yes. So wine is controlling your life?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I want to promise you that's not true. Have you seen a bottle of wine?
Many.
It doesn't do shit. It just sits there.
True.
Have you seen a glass of wine?
Many.
Just sits there. It has no control over you. At all. You see that, right?
Yes.
So the thought, wine has control over me?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Shamed.
Ashamed. Yeah. And what do you do when you're ashamed?
Drink wine.
Yeah. Which proves to you that it has control over you, right?
Yes.
But the truth is, you have control over you. You are the one that has control whether you drink the wine or not.
Yes.
Is that actually true? Even though it doesn't feel true, when you think about it logically, you're the one that gets the wine, you're the one that pours the wine, you're the one that drinks the wine.
Yes.
Right. So when you think the thought, wine has control over me, and you're ashamed about it, it's because you think what? About you.
That I don't have control over myself.
That you don't have control over yourself, which is a lie. Because you do. You have control over you. And that is a very important place for you to start when you understand this is for anyone doing any kind of buffering in their life. Because I had this same exact issue that you're struggling with. And the more I told myself that there was something wrong with me, instead of telling myself there was something wrong with the wine, the less control that I had. And when I recognized that I didn't have a control problem, I had a feeling problem. Because it's easier not to drink wine than it is to drink it, right?
Right.
Okay. So what is it like not to drink wine when you really, 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 really want it?
I feel anxious. Not drinking wine, it's so much ingrained in my whole life, my whole lifestyle, my social.
But what would it be like to just never drink wine again?
I don't know. I'm sort of fearful. What would it be like?
What would it be like to just not drink wine for a day?
I could do that.
But what would it be like? Because you're afraid of that, and that's what you have to understand is your own fear around it, right?
Yes. So I guess it would make me feel more powerful.
It would make you feel more powerful?
Not to have a glass of wine, yes.
But what I want you to really understand is that the reason why we want to drink wine is because we don't want to feel what we're feeling, right? Because there's this moment where you can have a glass of wine or not have a glass of wine. And it feels way better to have the glass of wine than not to have it, right? In that first moment, because there's that urge to have it. And there's that habit of having it. So you need to understand what it is. So when I had this experience for myself, and I was like over drinking every night, I decided like, what would it be like not to drink that? I'm going to feel agitated. I'm going to feel angry. I'm going to feel embarrassed. People are going to wonder why I'm not drinking. Like, you have to really understand that that's what you're avoiding, is all of those emotions that you don't want to handle or you don't think you can handle. And those are the very things that you can, if you learn how to do this. And I have an entire program on this. Do you know this? That I have an over-drinking program?
No.
Okay. In my Self-Coaching Scholars program, you know about my Self-Coaching Scholars program?
I've heard about them, yes.
Yeah. So in that program, I have a whole program within there, and we provide coaching for stopping over-drinking. And it's addressing drinking from the perspective that you are in control and you are powerful. It's not from the perspective that you're powerless, right? And it's not from the perspective that you're an alcoholic if you're over drinking. So my guess is that it would be appropriate for you and that you should for sure check it out. And I want to also offer that your shame that you feel about this, the thought that you have that there's something wrong with you, that you're out of control, is a lie. Okay. You're not. You've got this. And you can get a hold of this, and you can have a way better life. And I know so many other people in this room think that their life will be so much worse without alcohol. I promise you it could be so much better. So much more amazing. Okay? Thank you for being so brave. Okay, my friends. I have a very, very special guest that's about to come up here and show y'all how it's done. So she requires no introduction, but this amazing sizzle reel.
We help life coaches make money, but what's after that? What we really do is we help people in the world get coached. I met a life coach. I was like, what's a life coach? I for sure need that. It felt like everything she was telling me was a secret to the universe, and I thought I have to help other people have the secret to the universe. At the same time, I found the Life Coach School podcast with my mentor, Brooke. She was at episode 11. Then I did a call with Brooke. I told her I have no idea how I'm going to pay for this, but I really want to do this. She was just like, yeah, you're going to come up with it. I believe you. I did. I have had every transformation possible. Relationships, weight, interacting with money, so many things from life coaching. If I were just coaching people individually on their life, I could help a few people in this lifetime. We take my sales expertise, my business expertise, and we equip as many coaches as possible with the tools to sell their practice, and they get to go out and help people exponentially.
Hello, Life Coach Live. I'm in the back. Turn around, y'all see me? All right. Thank you guys, you're so sweet. Are you guys ready to do something absolutely ridiculous and fun and exciting and unexpected? And you're like, what is happening? Is that okay? Can we do that? Okay, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I am giving out free gifts to every single person in this room right now. That has nothing to do with life coaching whatsoever. But we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be unexpected. So here's what we're going to do, because we have to do it very quickly. We don't have a lot of time. I actually have a lot of things to teach you today. So here's what we're going to do, all right? For those of you that are VIP, where are my VIPs? Throw your hands in the air. Okay. Now listen, we have to do this orderly. You guys are going to head, don't move yet, to the front of the stage, not on the stage, just to the front, and we've got to fit as many of you as possible between the two bushes of roses, or whatever those are called, those rose pots, okay? We're going to fit as many as we can. You can even be in the aisles. We're going to squeeze up there as close as we can, just the VIPs. You can go ahead and start heading up. Make as much room as possible between the two roses.
Everybody head on up. Now, for those of you that are in your seats, just if you're not in VIP, just stay seated. You're going to get one too, right? And everyone, and you're going to face the stage. I love that you guys made it look like you're going to do a photo, but you're going to face the stage. And we're going to make room for me, so let me squeeze through here. You guys are so fun. All right, let me squeeze in over here. You guys are killing it. You guys know how to take direction. I'm loving it. Okay, but I don't want to fall, so let me squeeze through here. All right, here we go. Are y'all ready? All right, let's do this. Did you guys know that I used to be a pitch artist? I used to sell mops in Walmart. And slicers and knives and all of the demo products, okay? So today I'm taking you on a before and after journey. I'm showing you what I used to do and what I used to think, and then how I used beliefs to create a $10 million company and $25 million in sales since I got certified with the Life Coach School. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, perfect, because my journey started with this right here. This is the world's smallest citrus fruit juicer. They sell for $7.99 on Amazon. I looked. My old company actually, we got these sent here, wholesale for all of you that are here. So nice. And I got to show you how it works, and then we're gonna hand out the gifts. Everyone's gonna go back to their seats, and then I'm gonna teach you all the things about new beliefs. Are you ready? Okay, but first I have to show you how it works, all right? So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a lemon or a lime. I get the squishy ones that have lots of juice, all right? You're gonna roll it so it's nice and soft, and then you're gonna take, can everybody see me right here? All right, on the screen, virtual, y'all see? You're going to take the serrated edge, you're going to stick it in the rind, and then you're going to cut, you're going to pull that little rind out. You see that part right there? All right, you just discard that, and then you're going to push this back inside the line, right? And then, you guys see? I love it. Oh my God, I love that thing. My sister does too. She steals them every time she comes to my house. And what's really nice is they have a seed blocker inside to block the seeds. You can put these in oranges, and your kids can drink them straight from the orange. I even shave off the bottom just a little bit so you can sit it right on your countertop. And you can pass these around for cocktails, lemons for fish. Super fun, right? All right. So, like I said, we normally... They sell for $8. You guys are all getting one for free. Super fun. But you do have to do one thing for me. And it's kind of silly, but it's going to release a lot of endorphins. Are you ready? And everyone has to do it. Virtual, y'all ready? Those of you in your seats, you ready? Okay, here's what we're going to do. At the count of 3, we're going to throw our hands in the air, and we're going to scream, Life Coach Live. All right, are you ready? I want a lot of energy, all right? All right, 1, 2, 3. Life Coach Live! You guys are the best. I love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. There are people standing in the aisles with buckets so that you can get your juicer, okay? So you're going to head back to your seats, but before you do, we're going to be very quiet and silent when we go back to the seats, okay? Because I'm going to keep talking, if that's okay with y'all. I want to teach you all a lot today, okay? All right, so head back to your seats. I know, it's so fun. All right, you're so welcome. All right, so let me get my chef's jacket off. Didn't want to get my dress messy. So I wanted to give you these juicers for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's just fun. It's fun, it's unexpected. Number two, I want you to have them. You may use them in your kitchen. Many of you are very, very excited to use them in your kitchen. But you can also keep them on your desk, keep them somewhere, and you can use them as a, oh wait, what happened to my clicker? Hold on, we gotta stop. Someone walked off with my clicker. I'm gonna need it. All right, while they're finding that for me, Yes, thank you. All right. I want you to use this juicer as a symbol to remember this moment here today, because I'm going to be talking about my before and my after. So where I was when I was pitching and giving away juicers, and where I am now at $10 million. I want you to use this juicer to believe if Stacy can make $10 million from there, maybe I can do it too. You guys think you could do it? I did it from Mops and Walmart. I grew a coaching business to $10 million. That's where I started. You guys can do it too. The other thing I want you to know is today is decision day for some of you. Because if you're here, you're either a life coach, or you want to be a life coach, or you want to change your life, some aspect of it. And I promise you, if you change your life, any aspect, you're going to want to become a coach. As soon as you change your life, you want to tell everyone about it, right? Yeah. Okay? And you might just want to be, you might already be a life coach, but you want to be certified at the Life Coach School. I coach life coaches. I help them make money. I coach thousands of students from hundreds of schools and certifications. And I just have to tell you that the ones that are certified with the Life Coach School, they coach in our threads the best, the cleanest, the most unbiased. They get the biggest results for their students. They tend to make the most money, and they're the most coachable because the tool is just so incredible. So I want you to remember this juicer, because this is the moment that you may decide, this moment that you decide to change your life. You decide to become a coach. I want you to look at that juicer. That was that Life Coach Live. That's where I decided to become a coach. I highly recommend getting certified at this school. I'm not an affiliate. They don't pay me to say that. But people always ask me, Stacy, how did you do it? How did you make $10 million? And I always tell them the simplest answer: I got certified at the school. And really what it is when I went out, I always tell my clients to meet people, tell them they're a life coach, and make offers to help them. And what it was is when I started out, I'm going to tell you more about my life before coaching. But when I really had nothing. And when I would walk into a room as a newly certified coach looking for clients, that's always the elusive question: where do I find clients? And I would walk in, and my belief, even though I had nothing, I really didn't have any wealth or abundance or results that would show that I was the example of a life coach that should be telling other people how to live their lives. I had none of that. I had a 600 square foot apartment that was empty. I ate my dinner on the floor with 2 spoons. I'm not joking. But I would walk into every single room, and my number one belief was, I can help you because I have been trained with the model. And the model can help anyone on anything. And I'm equipped. So it doesn't matter how much money other people made, how successful they were, what their problem was, how big it was. I knew how to use the model. So that's just my spiel. If you ask me how I did it, I got certified. That's the easiest thing. I just want to tell you. I tell everyone that when they ask me. Okay, so you can use that. I also want to tell you a quick story about an arrow, because we're going to talk about creating new beliefs and using new beliefs to create abundance and wealth. I went to a personal development conference once about money, and we broke arrows with our necks. And the goal was to do something really physically scary to break a belief, to show yourself what you're possible, what you're capable of. And you had to write a belief on the arrow that you wanted to break, metaphorically, right? And I wrote, I don't know how, on the arrow, and I broke it with my neck, which is really crazy. But some of you are going to have that thought when we talk about creating new beliefs today. I don't know how to do that. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how I do it. I'm going to give you my practice. But I also kept those arrows for the last 7 years while I went from making $60,000 a year as a pitch artist to $10 million a year as a coach. And you can also, in that moment, just remembering that, I would look at those arrows and be like, I remember that person. So the juicers can do that for you too. You can remember who you are now and the moment you decided to go someplace much, much bigger. Okay? All right.
So let's talk about, you guys are so sweet. Let's talk about my life then. I already gave you a lot of the background. I was selling mops in Walmarts all across the country, or slicers. That's what I would do with the juicers, is we would do a slicer demo after. I made $60K a year, but I didn't know how to have money, how to save money, so I had nothing. The way I would describe my life back then is it was like I was living the college life, but I was almost 30. And when I would look out to my peers, I would be very confused. How do they, how did they figure life out? How did they buy a house? How did they get married? How did they have kids? How did they do that? I was in a really unhappy relationship, but staying for comfort and finances. And I didn't even want kids. I know not everybody wants kids, but my reason for not wanting kids was not good. I was like, I can't take care of myself. How can I take care of another person? Right? And I literally owned 2 spoons. My husband talked about it in our vows. It's like, remember when we used to eat dinner on the floor with your 2 spoons? He said, you told me this would happen, this life, and you really believed it. And even when I didn't believe it, you believed it and you did it. That's the power of knowing how to create new beliefs. So here's my life now. I got married 2 years ago in Napa, California. Whoever just was from Napa, that was my dream wedding. I honeymooned in French Polynesia, 2 different islands. It was insane. And I'm married to the absolute love of my life. We have the most incredible relationship. It doesn't make sense. We bought our dream home and designed it. And then we got pregnant almost right after we got married. And we have a beautiful baby boy named Jackson, who we adore. And the year that I was pregnant with him last year, I actually walked across stage pregnant 36 weeks and accepted my $10 million award. Just super fun. And I have a team of employees that I pay, which is so crazy. I love it. And I just took them on a dream trip to Disney World. So much fun. It really blew my mind what's possible when you have wealth and abundance. And we're scaling to $30 million. Yes, we're doing it. All right. So today I want to teach you how I bridged that gap. How I went from $60K a year to $10 million a year. Here are the first things you need to know. Number 1, your life is a result of the summation of your most used beliefs and most repeated sentences. Right? The most repeated ones. And I want to give you definitions of 3 things: abundance, wealth, and value. Okay, so abundance, I was thinking about this speech and I was thinking about my life now and truly how it genuinely feels so abundant. And I thought, why is that? And I think the answer is not just that I create it in my mind and in my body every day. I think it's that I spend so much of my time creating value for other people. And in order to do that, I have to have the thought, I have something to give. So the more you say to yourself the sentence, I have, and then you go give it to other people, the more you prove to yourself that you have, the more abundance you create. So for those of you who are life coaches or you're becoming life coaches, you just need to know if you want to have an abundant life, you have to think the sentence, I have, over and over and over. And when you believe that, you're going to go give what you have to other people, and that is going to create the most abundant life you could possibly have, no matter how much money you make. It's really fun when you make a lot of money, though. And no matter what else is happening. And then the other definition is wealth. And the way I want you to think about wealth, the way I'm going to talk about it today, is it is a result of value. It is literally a return of value invested into other people. So you believe I have something to give, and then you go out and you give it, and then it comes back to you in the form of money. So you believe you have, and then you create the value, then you go give it, and through the action of giving it, you believe even more, I have more abundance. I have more inside of me. And then that makes you want to give even more, and the cycle continues. And eventually that stacks up, and it overflows into your life in the form of financial wealth. And then this is the way I think about value, and it's really important because we're going to talk about creating new beliefs today, but the one thing that I want you to believe today, before you leave, not try it on, not question it, not think about it. I want you to believe that you have value right now to give. Every single one of you, even if you only own 2 spoons and you're selling mops in Walmart, okay? So value is your experience that you have right now, whatever experience you have in life right now. And the way I think about that is it's just a set of your valuable current beliefs or sentences, right? You all say valuable things to yourself. How I know that is you make valuable decisions because you're here, right? Hell yeah. So you have valuable thoughts already, and you have valuable skills, and that's your experience. And then, if you want to go further than where you are now, you just need to create new beliefs, new experience, and new skills. That's it. But it's much easier to do that when you start with, I already have value and experience and skills to give others. Right? So you guys have heard about transformation in the coaching industry, right? Like having a transformation. I was thinking about that as well. Here's what I actually think happens. We think a new sentence, and then we have transformed action. Because you could do the same thing you're doing right now in your life, not change a single thing you're doing. But if you think something different, you will get a different result in your life. So an example of this is when I was selling mops and slicers. The first year that I was coaching, I was not a life coach yet, but I thought the sentence to myself that I am the possibility of making, so I made $60K a year, and I'd never been able to break that ceiling ever in 7 years, but I am the possibility of making $78,000 a year without working harder or more. I don't know why 78,000. It's a very random number, but that was it. Is it 30% more? Perfect. And here's what happened. I actually worked less that year, but I thought new sentences. I would play Brooke's podcast in my ears over and over and over in between shows, and I would engage with the audience differently, and they bought more. So my action was the exact same as the year before, but completely different because of one new sentence and many new sentences. Brooke was offering us lots of thoughts on her podcast all of the time, and those created new results, okay? So here's the way I teach all my clients, and I want you to think about it. When you're a coach and you want to make lots of money, we've learned that wealth is a return on value. So I teach my clients this concept of the value bank. And I'm like, all you need to be responsible for, all you need to think about is like the stock market, how you would keep putting money in to get a return, you keep putting value into other humans. That's all you do. You just keep putting value, right, into your value bank. And you help enough people, and they will start paying you lots of money. So all you have to do if you want to make money is spend your time with your current valuable sentences and your current valuable experience, and then add on to that with new sentences and go out and serve the world. That is literally it. Help one person at a time and just focus on adding value to your value bank, okay? So that's the premise. But you have to believe first. It will be much easier. It will be a much easier journey if you believe I have value that I'm starting with. Okay, so on the beginning of my journey, I told you I'm going to take you on a before and after with me. The beginning, I had the result of $60,000 a year, giving away a free juicer, and selling a $30 kitchen product. The thoughts I had were, I always sell $1,000 of slicers. No matter what store, doesn't matter. I could be selling whatever product, whatever store, I'm going to sell $1,000. And I always did because I had that thought. And I'm the best. I can communicate however they need. Doesn't matter. So I would be in the Bronx, New York in a Kmart, and then I could go to Burbank, California to Ralph's and sell the crap out of some slicers. Doesn't matter. I loved the product, and this is my favorite one, is you want one. You guys all need to develop this belief about coaching. You want coaching, you want coaching, you want coaching right there. That's what we would do in our show. If we wanted people to buy, we would say, for those of you that let me know right now that you want one there, you want one too. If we believed that people wanted one when we said it, they would throw their hands in the air. Me! But if they didn't, if you didn't say it with belief and they didn't believe you, they would, you want one? I don't want one. I don't want one. No. And it would be really awkward. So I really believed, it's like, Oprah, you get a new car, you get a new car, right? You get coaching, you get coaching. Everybody wants coaching, right? They want it. So I started there. And then here's what I had. So I had my $60,000 thoughts. Oops, I went too fast. Hold on, how do I go back? I click this. What do I do? It doesn't have a back button. Bring it back. Perfect, okay. Figure out the clicker, don't worry. Okay, I have my $60,000 thoughts, my experience as a pitch artist, that's my value. And then I also had, I'm going to call these a couple of things in this speech, but stuck thoughts or poor thoughts. I'm going to talk about them in that way. Thoughts that kept me not making more than $60,000 a year. And where I wanted to go, at the time it was like, I knew I wanted to make millions as a life coach. I wanted to be a wealthy person. I don't know that I knew I was going to make 10 million, but I wanted to be a wealthy person. So I wanted to make millions. And so what I needed to do to bridge the gap between 60K and 10 million is think my current valuable thoughts and then add new ones on top of that and go out and transform my action, create new results, and then go give that to the world. Go help other people do the same. Y'all follow me? Okay. So here's the question you need to answer. You can answer it now, but I want you to do almost like a thought audit over the next week or so. Spend time thinking about, what am I thinking about? What are the sentences I repeat to myself the most on a daily basis? And of those, which ones are the ones that are valuable, that got me in this room, for example? And what valuable skills or experience do I have? You've got to know where you're starting with before we even talk about creating new beliefs. It's really difficult to create new beliefs thinking you don't have any valuable ones and your brain is a disaster and you have so much work to do. It's not fun at all. And then you're going to ask yourself, when you are thinking about your sentences, is what are the sentences I say the most that keep me from the value I am already, that I already have, right? So for me, it would be like, I don't want to go to work. Oh, Walmart, right? Those thoughts would take energy from me and have me like pacing the store instead of making announcements and doing a show. I'd just be walking around like, what's in the kitchen department? What's in the clothing department, right? I would not be doing shows because they would make me feel heavy. So what are the sentences that I say the most that keep me from my value and from creating more? You've got to know what those are. So you can call them stuck thoughts or poor sentences. Thoughts that keep me poor. Some of mine were, it's not my fault. I can't help it. I said I'm so tired, like as a filler. If I just didn't know what to say, I would be like, I'm so tired. Just say that all the time. Oh, bring it back. We've established I don't know how to do it. I'm figuring it out. And a plethora of others. Like basically life always felt like it was happening to me, not as a result of me. And I was constantly telling myself I didn't have any money. So here's what I did. I started to replace just one of those sentences at a time with what I call wealthy sentences. Or one of my early podcasts, I called them income-producing sentences. But they were sentences that generated energy within me and had me focused on helping myself and helping other people. So I got more energy to focus on the people in front of me and think about why they aren't buying and how to influence them to buy more. I just had more time to think about my craft as a pitch artist, not as a coach, just as a pitch artist. And then what I started to do is make a little more money, a little more money, a little more money. So I made $78,000 the next year as a pitch artist, and then the next year I made $150,000 as a life coach. And then I made $325,000, and then $860,000, and then $2.5 million, and then $6.4 million, and then $9 million, and we're going to do well over $10 million this year. Right? That's it. That's it. I bridged that gap little by little by little, one sentence at a time. Right? So I want you to imagine a little bridge between you right now and where you want to be. And let's just say for fun, it's millions of dollars as a life coach. Right? Okay. Now, It's very important to know every single day when you're alone with yourself in your house. It's going to be very easy to believe the sentences that keep you poor, the ones that don't feel good and zap your energy, and tell yourself that you're not resourceful and you don't know how and you won't be able to do it and it's for other people and not you. Okay? Every day, the sentences you say when you're in your house alone either get you further across the bridge or take you further back or keep you where you are. Right? So you want to just be really focused every day, one sentence getting across that bridge. I like to think of beliefs as planks across the bridge. I'm just building it as I go. Right? So here were some of my wealthy sentences, and there were 3 tiers of them. Like, I actually went back when Brooke did the podcast on the power of sentences. I went back and I was like, what were my sentences? And I knew them right away. So there were 3 tiers. Tier 1 was the answer. They were sentences that were the answer to my poor sentences. Okay? So it is my fault. That one's a tough one to swallow. I'm going to talk about that one when I talk about my steps to creating new belief. But you have to be very vulnerable. What the? I didn't hit the button. Take me back. New clickers next time. Go back. One more. All right, I know what they are, so I'll just tell you while they fix it. It is my fault. Life happens for me. Life happens because of me. I do have money. I'm just choosing how I'm going to use it. Right? I'm resourceful. I can make anything happen. And I just stopped saying I'm tired cold turkey. I just never let myself say it again. Just done. And one of my favorites was, I want to, I choose to. I had to do that a lot because I stayed working full time all the way up until my first 100K. So I was like life coaching people, which is the most amazing feeling. How many of you guys are life coaching people right now? Yes, it feels so good, right? So good. And I would get off the call and put my jacket on and walk back into Walmart. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I had to say every day, I choose to because I'm investing in my business. I choose to because I don't want to build from scarcity. I choose to because of this, this, and this, right? So those were my tier 1 were the answers to my poor sentences. Look, I'm not clicking it, I promise. Tier 2 were brand new sentences. I am a life coach. Don't underestimate that sentence. Or I'm a doctor. Right? Whatever it is for you, I am this, and being loud and proud. And I would think I have the secret to life. I have a tool that will change their lives. And in the beginning, remember, I didn't have a lot of results to prove all of this, so I would say I just need to be a few steps ahead. I just need to create value. There was one time where I was looking at my bank account, and it was actually negative. And I had no idea how I was going to buy lunch that day. And instead of freaking out about that, I said, I just have to create value. I have to add value into my value bank. I have to believe I have something to offer and then go offer that to someone. That's it. That simple. I just need to share the model. I cannot tell you guys enough how much I love that we get to lean on a tool like the model and not ourselves. It's the best gift you could ever give yourself. I'm just going to keep saying it. And then my tier 3 sentences were impossible sentences. Things like, I'm a thought leader, I'm a CEO, I'm a sales machine at life coaching. I'm up-leveling the industry. I am rich. I have clients that are making like $1 million, and I have to push them to tell themselves they're rich. I'm like, ooh, that means you're rich. You're doing this, that means you're rich. You just made that much money, you're rich. Did you know you're rich? So fun being rich, right? We don't want to believe we're rich. We're like, no, it's much easier to believe I'm poor. I love my life. There was a time, and many of you might be in this situation, so I want to speak on it. If you are in a place where you cannot imagine arriving and loving your life, you're like, I'm not even close to liking my life, right? At one time in my life, the sentence, I love my life, felt impossible for me. That's why creating new beliefs is so important. So how are new beliefs formed? I told you I was going to give you my process. There are 7 steps. And these are actual things I do. Like, I thought about this for this presentation. What do I actually do in my home by myself on a daily basis? So first, there are 3, you can believe new things 3 ways. Have you guys ever had a time where you've heard something and you just believed it right away? Like, I felt like that when I listened to Brooke's podcast. I felt like that when I listened to Law of Attraction. This is just the way the world works. This is true. You don't need any effort. You just believe it. That's always fun, but it doesn't happen all the time. We can't rely on it. So then we have to get coached. And many of you have done that up on stage with Brooke, right? And she's coached you so laser sharp that you just, at the end of the session, you're like, okay, I believe something new. That's the power of coaching. And then the third way is you have to work on them. And I do think that the difference between me and other coaches and me making $10 million is I work hard on believing new things. So the majority of them you're going to need to coach and work to believe. You're going to do a bunch of both. So this is how I do it. Step 1 is you have to be willing to be wrong. This is emotional vulnerability. It feels like if you were up here on stage or in the virtual box and you got coached, didn't it feel a little bit like you were either naked or your whole insides were just showing to everyone? That's emotional vulnerability. I heard this once and it changed my life. You can be right or you can be rich. Which would you rather? I think being wrong is the secret to making millions. I love being wrong about things. If I'm wrong, that means there are other solutions, other opportunities. There are new sentences to think, new things to try, and new results to create. If I'm right, there's nothing. We can't go any further. So you have to be willing to feel triggered, to feel defensive, to feel angry, to feel scared, to feel shame. Right? Any of those negative emotions, that's the first step. Be willing to be wrong. Let it go. The second step is allow it to be possible, and then probable, and then inevitable. Some of you want to go, I see this a lot with my clients anyways, where they want to go from, I'm going to believe I'm going to make $10 million from 60K, and it needs to be inevitable right away, or I just give up and I can't believe it again. You have to take the sentence, I am the possibility of making $78,000 in 1 year without the feeling of having worked harder, and think that so many times that eventually it starts to feel probable. You're like, actually, I probably am going to make $78,000 this year. And then you think that thought over and over and over and over and over until you're like, I'm definitely making $78,000 this year. It's inevitable. Right now, I'm like taking action and I'm believing myself. Right? So let there be steps to this. Possible, probable, inevitable. And every day you're just building on that sentence. You're saying it to yourself a little bit more, and you're believing it a little bit more each time. And the way you're doing that is while you're telling yourself it's possible and it's probable, you're going out and you're making your case. So many of you wanted to make your case on stage with Brooke for what you wanted to believe, what you were thinking that made you feel crappy. You're like, no, but this is why I have to think this thought. I do that a lot with her. But you've got to exercise the case for what you want to believe. Think about being in court. For those of you that are lawyers out there, right? I'm going to search for all of the evidence, and then I'm going to present my case, and I'm going to argue for it, and I'm going to fight for it, right? Like there was like a verdict coming out about it, right? Every day, arguing for what you want to believe. Arguing for where you're going, not for where you are. Again, it's a willingness to be wrong. Maybe the way I'm looking at my life right now, I'm just wrong. And if I'm wrong, chances are I'm going to be wealthy. And then you got to hold the feeling. So I remember the first time I told my husband that I was going to make $1 million. I was curling my hair in my bathroom in my 600 square foot apartment with barely any furniture, and I popped out of the bathroom and I said, babe, I'm going to make $1 million. And he laughed, and he was like, that's like pro athlete money, but okay. But for 30 whole seconds, I believed myself. That's enough. Did you guys know that? I just whispered to my son while I was eating tortilla chips in the kitchen. I said, Jackson, your mom is going to make $100 million one day. And I believed myself for the first time. You have to find that 30-second window where you believe yourself. And you just feel it, and you don't even be sad when it leaves. It's going to leave. But then you work on all these steps to get it back and hold it for 60 seconds. And then hold it for an hour, and then a day, and then a week, and then a month, and then even through failure. I'm going to hold it through failure. I'm going to hold it even when it's not happening. I'm going to keep holding it. And then you're going to stay with it even when. I'm going to tell you a story. When I scaled my program 2K for 2K, that's $2,000 for the first year. I set a goal. I was going to do launches, so it wasn't open all the time. There were launches. I did 5 launches that year. My goal was to sign 50 people and make $100,000 in that launch. I failed 5 times. All 5 times. I think I sold 16 the first time, 24 the second time, I think 28 the next time. I think the next one was even further back, like I went backwards and made less money. The last time I sold 34, so I failed for an entire year. But I stayed with the belief that I was going to make $1 million with that program, and I was going to make $100K in one launch. And on January of a brand new year of working to believe that, I hit my goal. But I didn't give up. I stayed with it. Even when the time it took to bring in the result of that belief was longer than I expected. That's the biggest one for me. I once raised my prices from 10K to 25K with my mastermind, and I told people it took me 4 months to believe that. And someone goes, that long? And it made me think, have they ever held a belief that long and created something like that brand new in their life where they could actually do that work? Because that is the amount of time it takes sometimes to believe something like that. Nothing's gone wrong. You guys sometimes think that something's gone wrong. Nothing's gone wrong. It takes time for some of these beliefs that are very opposite of where you are right now. And then once you achieve it, you have to have that sentence. Like glory with that sentence. Your brain's going to want to tell you it's a fluke and discredit it. It only happened because of this, this, and this. And you've got to keep reinforcing that sentence. At whatever it is. I am rich. I am a wealthy person. I am a life coach. Right? When someone buys, yes, I am a life coach. When you get off a call with one of your clients, I am a life coach. You have to really have it. Normalize you being a new you. It takes time even after you've gotten the results. That's always surprising to us. I spend a lot of time in the having my results, having my sentence. And then the last one is you go give it to the world. I told you, if you change your life even a little, you're going to want to help other people do the same. It's going to light such a fire in you what's possible. You're going to think, wait a minute, if I can do it, you can do it. You're going to want to help. And the more you give it, have you guys heard this idea that what makes you really understand something is going and teaching it? Yeah. So you got to go give it to the whole world. Remember when I said that you create new beliefs, and then that creates transformed action, which creates new results? Every single transformation you have, every single new sentence that you think could help someone else. So it's not just about finding your 3 tiers for you, it's about finding thoughts that no one's ever thought before. You're going to say a sentence in a way that Brooks never said it, that I've never said it, or anyone on this stage or anyone at the school has ever said it. You're going to say a brand new sentence. And you're going to give that in the form of value to someone else. And then it's going to come back to you in the form of wealth. What do y'all think? Yeah? Are you ready to create some new beliefs? Okay. So I really want to encourage you. I know I said this at the beginning, and I really mean it. They did not ask me to say this. For those of you that are thinking about joining the Life Coach School, I really genuinely, I have coached so many coaches, and I don't think there is a better training program out there. I want you to have the thought, it's safe for me to join the Life Coach School. It's safe for me to become a coach, and I will find clients. I know all y'all are thinking about that. Where are the clients coming from? I will find them because now I have the steps, right? It starts with belief that they're there, and I'm going to go get them, right? That's the first step. Make it as easy as possible for yourself. Give yourself as much support as you possibly can for yourself. And I want to help you do it. I have a little incentive. This is one of my favorite things actually about the school is when I told you, when you change your life, you want to help everyone do it, right? The school is full of coaches like that they've made a lot of money and all they want to do for free, just out of their heart, is help other alumni who come through make it and make money. We just all are like that. So I wanted to give you all a bonus. An incentive if you sign up for the Life Coach School today. I have 2 actually. By the way, when I did presentations and shows, we always ended it with a bonus. A really big one that made people's hands fly in the air, okay? So, here is my bonus. The first one is, I wrote a book called The Consultation Code. Love that. My students do say it is as valuable, they would pay $2,000 just for this book. I have never given it away outside of my program, ever. But you all are going to get it when you sign up for certification today. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about running a sales call for life coaching. There are specific things you want to do. They're simple, but you need to know how to do them. And I know selling can be awkward. How do you transition? What do you say next? How do you go from one step to the next? So in this book, I even wrote my favorite transitions. How to introduce the call, tell them what you're going to be doing, tell them what to expect, how to start the call, how to get into the meat of their problem, how to help them on the call. Do you coach? Do you not coach? All of those things are inside this book. How to end the call, how to ask for the sale, and how to even help them make a decision. The exact words I use. And all of my thoughts about selling and making decisions, everything is inside this book, along with 50 case studies. So my students would actually run a consult, and then they would write an evaluation, and then I would coach them on what they needed to do differently next time, and I included 50 of those in the book. You get all of that as my first bonus. But I said there are 2. My second bonus is you're actually going to workshop with me. I'm going to teach you how to sell. Ready? I'm going to teach you, I'm going to take what you learn in the consultation code and we're going to do it live together. You're going to get to ask me questions. We're going to workshop. I'm going to coach you. Right? I want you to know, I promise, it's the scariest thing. It feels like, where are clients going to come from? Are they coming from thin air? And I promise you, they are and they aren't. But I'm going to help you with that as part of my contribution to this community, because I want you all to succeed in the way that I did. All right? Sound good? Sound fair? All right. Thank you all so much. All right.
Okay. Stacey Bateman, how amazing was she? Thank you so much. So, I know you all just heard what Stacey said, but I want to make sure you heard what Stacey said, because so many people have a question: how can I get clients as a life coach, right? Will I be able to do it? We've heard so much of it in the coaching this weekend. Can I get clients? Can I do it? And a master just offered you a master class. So if you buy certification this weekend, you are going to get a master class in how to get clients. So if you're worried, stop worrying, because Stacey's got you. We got you, you guys. We got you. Y'all know this, right? We've got you. I also want to make sure, because I didn't mention it this morning, that everybody knows that there's going to be a welcome lunch for all of you who've made the decision. There'll be a welcome lunch today so that we can kick off everything. So work hard, play hard, kick off. Coach certification, kick off. Welcome lunch today at 1 o'clock. Yes. Okay. And if it's not exactly at 1 o'clock, it's going to be over there, and you'll absolutely know. We will feed you, is what I'm saying. We will feed you. Okay, so coming up next, I'm really excited about this because, you know, Brooke is awesome. There are other awesome people, too. And you saw Stacy, amazing. Next up, we have one of my faves, my favorite style coach, Judith Gatan, is coming out. Roll tape.
Former attorney turned style coach. I don't know what it is. Maybe her vibrant personality, her fierce wardrobe, or that infectious giggle. I love everything that is Judith Gatan. For me, and I'm Puerto Rican, I'm fluffy, I'm really smart, I used to be a lawyer, I used to be a fashion designer. So all of these experiences I get to bring with me on my coaching journey. And the tools and things that I've learned along the way, I get to bring to my clients. The most important relationship on this journey is the one you have with yourself. That's the love affair of a lifetime. And they tell me, I heard what you said, and this is what I made it mean in my own heart and mind, and this is what I'm gonna go do with that. That's the part that makes me cry, because it's like, that's what it's about.
Because you stood up. Like, if you know, you know, so you stood up. The rest of y'all about to find out. It's okay. It's okay. All right, so for those of you who have no idea who I am, but you've been seeing me in hats all week, you're like, who's that lady? I'm Judith Gatan. See, they know. You'll catch up. You'll catch up. I'm a master certified coach. I'm a personal stylist. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a founder of the Modern Charm School. I used to be a lawyer for 11 years. Ew. But you're going to hear my origin story. You're going to hear how I found coaching and how it changed my life. And for those of you who have professional degrees or you have a career, you're like, is this for me? It's for you. Okay, so we're going to talk about how being fabulous might make you feel like an imposter, even when you're not. Because it's a common plague for all of us. We're going to talk about what imposter syndrome is, aka the imposter phenomena. We're going to set some scenes for my life, because it's going to be very theatrical. We're going to talk about sentences in my brain that are so common to each and every single one of you. And then we're going to decide what's possible for our futures together. Who's ready to make some decisions about what's possible? Some of y'all, I'm sure you, what is happening? I want to pause first on the word fabulous, because some of you might have heard the word fabulous and you're like, oh. Like you even decided to leave the room and move around while I'm talking. Sit down. You're like, this is my potty break time. It's not your potty break time. So actually I want your pens down, your eyes up. This is going to be very interactive. Because fabulous is a word that I enjoy. I also enjoy delight and social. For some of you, it's charismatic. For some of you, it's successful, achieving. Pick your word. Don't get stuck there. We're going to talk about what imposter phenomena is. Now, it's referred to as a syndrome. I'm not going to get geeky on you, but essentially it's not a syndrome. It's a series of things we've observed in the successful humans. Is that kind of fun? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm going to project like this, like I'm shouting at you all. They've turned me up. Does that work? Can we say yay? All right. You're good at cues now. All right. So imposter phenomena happens to the successful people. Isn't that interesting? So here's a boring definition. It occurs among high achievers, blah, 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 who are unable to internalize success. Who's had trouble internalizing their success? Oh, you my people, okay. And what happens is you say this phrase. So we're gonna make this super interactive. Again, I want you to raise your hand a lot, and I want your phones down, I want you paying attention. I can see you with your phones up still. There's not going to be a lot behind me, y'all. Okay. The beautiful thing is, you say this a lot. You say this was lucky, it was a fluke, hashtag I'm blessed. And you don't own your results. So what you've been learning over the last few days is we have a thought, we have a sentence in our brain, a feeling in our heart, we go, we take action, and we create the results. You create your results. But if you're so busy attributing it to luck, fluke, hashtag blessed, you never really understand how powerful the sentence is when it manifests outside in the world. And it's hard to create results for you, for us, for we, if you're operating in this place where you can't fully accept that you are the creator. You are the magic bringer. Even if you come from a faith system where there's an external creator, he still imbued you with beautiful gifts and skills and talents that are your responsibility to do much with. Still on you, boo-boo. So here's my definition. I like it better. You feel like a phony, and you're afraid they will find out. I don't know who they is, but they operate a lot in the background. So we're gonna do a game, a really sick game that I invented called Does This Sound Familiar? Okay, this is from one of the imposter phenomena tests. And I want you all to raise your hand now. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, okay. Can you give the impression that you're more competent than you really are? Only put your hand down if this doesn't feel like you. When people praise you for something that you've accomplished, you're afraid you won't live up to their future expectations of you. Okay, a few hands went down, that's okay. But look at the hands that are still up. I'm afraid people important to me may think I'm not as capable as I am. Okay, some of your hands went back up, because that one's really painful. I often worry about succeeding on a project or an examination, even though everybody around me is like, you're amazing, you're great, you're so capable. Your hand's getting tired? Because this is exhausting. Go ahead and put them down. This is how you go through the world. You're slugging this around with you everywhere you go, and it's so painful. And I'm going to ask you these questions, and I'm going to share some really vulnerable sentences that still go through my brain. And I want you all to raise your hand because I want you to be like, oh me, oh my, oh we, oh us. It's us. We have the sentences. And that's so good to know. So we're going to do a little dance today. I'm going to set some scenes from my life. Oh. Y'all ain't ready, okay. We're gonna set some scenes. I'm gonna tell you some sentences. We're gonna interact with each other, and then we're gonna talk about how to reframe and rewrite those sentences and decide what's possible. I like to think of it as you have this giant suitcase you've been lugging around. There's some stuff your mama said when you were little that's still carrying it around. The beautiful thing about this work is each stage of your journey, you get to pack a smaller, more fabulous suitcase, but you get to pack it deliberately. Here's what I will deliberately choose to carry forward with me, and here's what I'm going to choose to leave behind. Who wants to leave some stuff behind today? Right. Let's go get free, babies. Let's go get free. So when I was in high school, I was a maniac child, no surprise to anybody. I was a theater kid, and I was bullied terribly. And I decided, how am I going to make this work in my favor? So I enlisted the senior class. I was a freshman at the time. I said, your show sucks. They had this fundraising show. I was like, it sucks. And you're making no money. But I have an idea. We can make a show. And there's going to be choreographed numbers and high production value. And the senior class is like, we're tired of making no money at our stupid show. And I was like, it's a stupid show. So we did choreographed numbers. And they were like, you're the woman in charge. I said, okay. So then the senior class lined up behind me. And they made a lot of money. So I was like, okay, all right. So then the administrators got involved. They're like, we're making money. I'm like, I know, because I'm a genius. Because the show. And then we got local retailers involved, because I was like, the clothing we're using for the show is totally inadequate. So I called our local retailers, tuxedo shops, and I said, you should lend us clothes for the show. And they were so in belief of like the show, and they thought I was a grown-up because of the way I talked about the show. But they lined up too. So there was a senior class, the administrators, local businesses, and I had this line of people. But here's the beautiful part. The kids who bullied me suddenly wanted to be a part of the show. So they lined up too. They had to audition in front of me to let them in the show. And it was delicious. I mean, I was hungry with power, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh man, line up, bitches. Sorry, I tried. So they're lined up down the hall, and when you go into a theater that's been freshly painted, it's like sacred ground. So there was a teacher who wasn't involved in the show, and I think he secretly wanted to be. And he said these words to me. He said, how dare you? If you ever graduate, you'll be lucky. And if you ever attend college, I'd be shocked. I was like, what? I'm gonna give you a surprise ending of the story. I was salutatorian, and guess who had to sit front row? I was like, I got your graduation right here. Now, that was so incredibly painful at the time, though. Can you imagine? But each of you have some version of this, where some human said words to you when you were young, and you didn't know to be afraid of things yet, and the world was new. And there was all this possibility that you really believed you had, and then a human said words, and it was like, ooh. Before I found coaching, I carried that around with me for a really long time. In fact, I had sentences that looked like this. Tell me if these sound familiar. You're too young, but insert you're too old, or you're past your prime. Or I have clients who tell me, I'm 65. It's never too late to change your underwear. Right? So, it's never been done. Who's been told it's never been done? They let you do this. It's such an underhanded thing. They let you do this. You're going to get in trouble. Who's worried about getting in trouble? They'll find out. They will find out. It's no wonder. Beautiful thing about now that I have found coaching is I get to reframe this entire scene for myself. You all have been given that special gift too, thanks to the model. That any scene that you've been ruminating on for years, because before I found coaching, this followed me for years. That little voice in the back of my head, if you'll be lucky. I get to rewrite sentences, and I get to take ownership of what I'm gonna put in that teeny little fabulous suitcase. So I get to tell this story. Teenager with gumption and moxie puts on a fabulous show. Because the new voice in my head has a 40 staccato, always. Always. The mean voice talks up and the other one's like, yes, girl, yes, right? Like, always. The beautiful thing is, like, we get to also admit when somebody might be right about something. If somebody says something like, your age is blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, it's blah, blah, blah. I was young. I was 16 years old. People's livelihoods were depending on the show. How many of you create something magnificent, you get all these people in line with your vision, and then that little voice comes in. What if they find out? What if they know? The beautiful thing is you get to be like, I did it. It's been done. They let you do this. I don't ask for permission. I was on a call with Brooke. I was on an airplane. And you're not supposed to talk on the phone in the airplane, but I was like, I'm just going to do it and then apologize. So I'm on the phone. Hi, Brooke. She's like, where are you? I'm on the airplane. And she starts laughing. She's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I love her. I love her so much. I'm willing to break the rules. Because she sees my possibility and I see her seeing my possibility and I want in on that. I don't ask permission. I did get in trouble. I got reprimanded in one of the worst ways possible. And I survived. And some of you have been playing out this story in your brain that was so painful, and you've been living in so much turmoil. You are one sentence away, and it could just be I survived. I'm here. I created the show. Not the senior class, not the administrators and the retailers. I did. Now, I enlisted people in my vision, and as all of you start to create your businesses or you're already in business, you are in the business of imparting certainty and getting people in on your vision. Because remember, oh me, oh my, oh us, oh we, how lucky we are that we get to do this work. Then I became a lawyer. Totally weird story. Totally weird story. And in my lawyering, about halfway through, I became a life coach, very reluctantly. I'll tell you the full depth of that story in a second. So the interesting thing, I'm going to just put these sentences up because I want you to start thinking about how these apply to you. So as a lawyer, I was typically the only female in the room, and I did $1 million divorces. So I would come in when things had gone terribly wrong, and Brad and Chad and Bruce could not figure it out. And even sometimes Karen was like, I'm at a loss. So I was doing this particular $1 million divorce, and we had subsidiaries in different countries, because I used to do that kind of lawyering. So I asked the judge to do something for me, and I said, please, 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 dear judge. And he was like, I want to hear from Brad, Bruce, and Chad. I was like, okay. So here's what you need to know about trial. Trial's really boring. Now on TV, it looks super sexy. It's crazy boring. And one of the things you know is you get to judge the judge's reaction by how high he's sitting above his desk. So you know that if the judge is doing this, and by the end he's like this, you've lost him. They're just lost. So Bruce gets up there and he says, pip, pip, can't be done. Pip, pip, can't be done. Total argument. That was his whole argument. And then Brad gets up there and is like, what Bruce said. They're in agreement. Like, that's enlightened. So good. And then Chad gets up there. He's like, let me try to Billy Flynn this. Here's 1 and 2 and 3, and here's why it can't be done. Like, okay, great. Awesome. And here's the funny thing is, at that moment, there was a little part of me that was like, let me show them how to do this. And there was also part of me that was like, maybe they're right. You ever had that happen? You're on the verge of a moment of triumph, and somebody says, pip, pip, it can't be done, and you're like, maybe they're right. Raise your hand if that's you. Oh, it's so painful. You had a whole plan. And then this human who's inarticulate, unintelligent, says words. Oh yeah, I went there. I have some thoughts about that, clearly. And I got up, and I remember this so clearly, because I get up, and I go to the podium, and there's what we call wells. There's a huge distance between me and the judge. And he's like this, like we have lost him. He's like more like this, right? Like chilling. And we could see his legs, he's like chilling. And I go, and the first thing out of my mouth was, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Let's back it up, Your Honor, so I could break it down. And the judge was like, what the hell? And we see him immediately go, whoop, and he like leans in, and like Brad, Bruce, and Chad are like, oh, so unprofessional. How dare she? You can't do that. Watch me. And the beauty is I had eye contact with the judge now. So I'm like, oh, you like that, Your Honor, you like that. It's like, wait, there's more. And like, you're in that, right, you feel that vibe though, right? When you're like, you know, you connected, and you're like Beyonce, you're doing like a whole dance move, there's things, like you're in it. And I get off stage. I called it a stage, yeah. I get off, and instant shame. I got what I wanted, by the way, which is all the subsidiary. Like, I did it. Can't be done, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, I'll show you. The funny thing is, we all do this. How many of you had a moment of triumph? You vibed hard, and and you step off the stage, you go into the other room, you get in your car at home, and you're sweaty. Oh, we're sweaty people. And there's instant shame. And you think about everything you said. Oh my God, did I just say that? Did I just say janky panties in front of a crowd of 1,600? My mother's watching. So the amazing thing is at this point, I had a client who had been admonished to get a job. And I was like, you need to find a job. And she was collecting doctoral degrees. How many of you have multiple doctoral degrees, certifications, all the things? You have the pieces of paper. Oh, you're dopamine chasing with certifications. Okay, I see you. You only need one. You'll get it here. So this client comes to me and she says, I'm going to be a life coach. I was like, to hell you are? No, that's made up. That's not a thing. She's like, no, it's a thing. I'm like, it is not a thing. I'm gonna prove you wrong. So guess where I went to prove her wrong? You guys are gonna love it. I went to search what a life coach was on Pinterest. Like, clearly I was committed to proving her wrong. No. There was some little part of me that was like, what is that? Like somebody who came here and you're like, what is that? Is this a cult? Oh, y'all are in the crowd. Welcome, you have now been initiated. So, I mean, I go Pinterest search, right? Guess whose face pops up? Brooke Castillo. This short-haired blonde lady is gonna tell me about life. I was like, oh, damn, all right. So I listen in the car, like I started binge listening to prove this wrong. I was gonna do my research, gather evidence. And then she says this sentence that changed my life. Your thoughts create your feelings. That can't be true. So like a good lawyer, what did I do? I went to all the other lawyers, the liars, the lawyers. So I go to them and I'm like, do your thoughts create your feelings? That doesn't sound right. They're like, no, actually that sounds right. Fudge. I'm gonna do it. I'll get this. And then I keep pulling them, and it turns out it's true. And that changed my life. So when I got to do the dance again this time, and I reset the scenes and I reframed the sentences, it didn't take years of processing some words some human said, or even the words that I had now internalized myself, and were playing like a record in my own heart and mind. And yet they're so much faster. Young, bold attorney makes stunning arguments. So much better. I want to live where she lives, wherever that is. You can't do that. I did it. They're going to find out. You're going to get in trouble. Who says? That's the most powerful question, y'all. Who says? Because if it's you saying the thing, and it's probably you, because oh me, oh my, oh us, you have all the power in the world to change it. I won the argument. I created that result. Not Bruce, not Brad, not Chad, not the judge. I delivered the information to him in such a way that he could receive it and do what I had asked. Do you know how powerful that is? Do you know the power you all wield? That you can tell humans things and give them their model, fully own yours. I won the argument. I showed up and did the darn thing. I did it. All right. So the beautiful thing is we fast forward to now I'm a style coach. I help curvy, nerdy women look stylish and feel confident. Yes! My people in the room! Yes! So I created this amazing event. I had always dreamed of doing my own kind of show, not quite the production in high school, but some version of a Pretty Woman moment. Right? That sounds so amazing. And Pretty Woman, not the hooker whore part, let's leave that out. Let's just qualify what I mean. The whole makeover scene is really delicious and amazing. And there's a magic moment that so many of you are missing from your own story. And you see her and she's doing this little preening thing. You remember this part of the movie? And she's trying on all the clothes. It's like, I want this for curvy, nerdy women. because I've never been taught this stuff. So I go to a fancy store, and I call them like a maniac, because I'm super excited. Hi, I'm Trixie Kattan, and I would like to go to your store, and they're like, this is a year in advance. Can you call back in 6 months? Like, okay. So I call them back, and I have all these amazing women in the dressing room. These are women with doctoral degrees. These are women who have high educations, coming in and out of a dressing room, bossing the salespeople around. And I have a moment where they're coming out of the dressing room, and I have a client in particular, and it's such a beautiful moment because she's crying, and the sales staff's like backing away from her because they're not prepared. And it's standing there, and it's so beautiful because we have this moment where I'm like, zoom out, love. She's like zeroing in on a particular part of her body, and I just told her, zoom out, love. Look at the full picture. Look at where you're at. Yes. Look at where you're at. Zoom out. Can you hear me in the back? Excellent. Okay. So we're standing in front of the mirror, and she's zeroing in on a part of her body, and I tell her to zoom out. Zoom out. Look at where you are. Look around you. I want you all to take a second to do that right now. Some of you are zeroing in on a sentence you have in your brain, something you think you did wrong, something you have so much shame about. Look around, love. You have found your people. You're in an incredible room, and you've now been given the power to change your life. Zoom out. But like you, I'm still human. So I'm in the fancy store, sitting in a chair, and my clients are having these amazing transformations. Women who were afraid to look at themselves in the mirror are like, do you have this in blue? It created monsters. It's amazing. And then the sentences happen because I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror. Isn't it a little too late to be doing this? You had a whole other career. How many of you think it's too late? Oh, we got some of you on the crowd. But don't embarrass yourself. Who's afraid of being embarrassed all the time? Okay, more of you. It's fun. I'm gonna offer you that as a thought. It could be so fun. You're too much. Where are my muchy muches? Oh, we got a crowd of muchy muches. Okay. And then I'm talking because I start getting nervous. So I'm like talking and 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 talking. And I'm like, oh my God, did I just say that? And then that thought, one of the most insidious little creepy thoughts, is like, I'm too fat. How many of you think that because something's happening, the size, shape, weight, skin color of your body, that something's off? That you're too fill in the blank? Yeah, there's a lot of you. How painful. I call it fortune mistelling. But there's a fact of my body, and I'm going to mistell what's possible for my future because of a fact of my body. Because I have a sentence in my brain. And this is one, and I took out the F word, but I typically think I'm going to F it up. And Bev coached me on this lovingly. What does that even mean? I don't know. I've been saying it a long time. When I get coached, that's how I cry. I'm human too. The beautiful thing about this work is I had packed a more fabulous tiny suitcase. And the more fabulous tiny suitcase came with me to the fancy store. I had an arsenal of tools, the model, holding space for myself, the ability to feel my emotions in the moment and let them pass through. All things you will learn or have learned because my coaches are in the room. And I was able to be like, oh, in real time, I can reset this scene. I can shuffle all the chairs around. I can move everything around in a moment's time now. It's not going to take me years or months. I can see the models happening in my brain. I can see those sentences. So now I get to be fluffy fashionista with amazing friends in tow, takes over high-end retailer. All of you need that voice too. You can borrow it from me. So anytime you're like, I want to rewrite a story, like, do it in a staccato. Like, it just sounds so much better. It's like delicious, right? When you think of like a movie star retelling your story, well, guess what? You are the movie star. You're the leading lady, the leading man, the leading human. You are. So here's what we know. It's never too late, love. Like, why should I be concerned about being embarrassed? There's no such thing as too much. My muchies are like, yeah, right? I'm fat. Yeah, yep, you said it. That's the worst thing that could be said about me, and I don't actually think it's terrible at all. But think of the thing that you're so worried about somebody saying about you. She's too old. She's inarticulate. She don't talk so good. She's not smart. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, some of you, there's a thought, you're so worried about somebody saying about you that you could be like, yep, now what? And not for them, but for you. For you. And here's the beautiful thing is I get to take in my teeny tiny suitcase. I created the event, and this is the most important part as all of you embark on your coaching journey. I created the container. You're going to create programs. You're going to create modules. You're going to create videos. You're going to gather the humans that you love most, that you can serve the best in one place together. Do you know how incredible that is when it happens? And not only do you get to create it, but you get to be a witness to transformation. It is a gift, and it's a privilege, and it's amazing. And I get to carry that forward in my suitcase, my very fabulous suitcase. So do you. And I love this quote because when we feel that turmoil, because we think I was lucky, it was a fluke, I'm a phony, they're going to find out, or any other sentence, here's a reframe that's possible for all of you. It's proof. It's proof of your success. It's proof that you're innovating, that you're leading, that you're creating, that you're in the arena. This is proof, love. Because imposter phenomena happens to the successful people. That's who it's for. You spot it, you got it. With a small caveat, and I do want to put this here because it is important. When I walked into that courtroom, I walked in with a set of identities. I'm Puerto Rican, I'm a Latina, I'm a woman. I was very, very young, a young lawyer. Some of you have your identities that you walked into this room with. Male, female, human. Your sexual orientation, your skin color, your hair texture, your socioeconomic status, your educational status. You walked in with a sea of C's, sea of circumstances, all your identities. When I walked into that courtroom, there were a lot of identities going on. The beautiful thing about recognizing that these are sentences in my brain is that I have so much power now when I enter into a room because there are systemic things going on. I do walk in with all of those identities, but I have all the power because I have the power for my sentences. So even some of you, right, Harvard Business Review did a beautiful talk in article about how stop telling women they have imposter syndrome. So I thought it was important to pause on this. You don't have a syndrome. You're observing a phenomena because you have sentences in your brain. And the sentences you have in your brain are proof that you are a success. You're in the arena. And it should feel, however it feels, nothing has gone wrong. Now, here's the beautiful part, is you get to do this kind of a dance whenever you like. Like, you get to tango with your thoughts whenever you want. And sometimes it's going to feel very smooth and like fluid, and you're like, oh, I'm in it, I'm vibing. And sometimes it's going to feel very jerky and off kilter, and it's supposed to. Because the beautiful thing now is you get to decide, like, I will do X, Y, Z. I will think this on purpose. I will generate this emotion for myself on purpose. I will go create a business, a life that I love. And I will go serve my humans that I was meant to serve, that I can serve best. And I'll create it for them. I'll create it for me. I'll create it for we. Now here's something delicious I have for you. You ready? We ready? Who's ready? Notice I only paused on fabulous. We can't just pause there, can we? No. I'm going to teach you, those of you who are going to sign up for CCP already have, an entire bonus class. It's going to be a workshop on how to be your own version of fabulous. Because we need you to show up as fully yourselves. And insert whatever word you like for the word fabulous. We're going to workshop the sentences that maybe have been running in your brain for a really long time, and we're going to change them. We're going to do a little dance with your brain. But I'm going to most importantly teach you how to do that dance. And then we're going to reframe. You're going to have your own 40 staccato voice, your own leading lady sound or leading man sound, leading human sound in your brain. Pip, pip. Life coach takes over the universe. Life coach makes money, pulls her family out of debt. Life coach changes the voice of a generation. Oh, I want that one. I'm going to take that one. Would you like it too? Would you like that too? Life coach rewrites her story, the story of her family and all her children. That's the power of this work. So we'll get to do that together. And then I really want us to all think thoughtfully when we have our time together soon about what kind of creative container you want to make for your people. Because I want you to be able to witness their transformations up close. And the best way for you to do that is to create something that's so fabulously you, so that they can see themselves and be like, oh me, oh my, oh us, oh me. It's so good. That's what I have for you all today. Thank you all. Erica, are you coming up to announce? Oh, hello, love!
Amazing! Thank you so much. You guys bringing my chairs back out?
They're coming. I'm exiting.
You're exiting?
Oh, am I staying? Do you want me to stay?
Always.
You have to tell me twice.
I actually don't want you to stay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
I love
bye,
you.
Girl, bye.
Thank you. How much do we love her? She's so good. I wish you guys could see the variety of text messages that I get. I was like, I should do a whole podcast just reading my text messages from like dates and friends and like the variety of emotions that they incur. So somebody texted me to let me know from the virtual, someone that has my text number, that I'm dumb, which was nice. Because I forgot to mention when I was doing my offer for certification that 6 months of Scholars is included in certification. She's like, you just hate money? What is wrong with you? So I just want to make sure that is clear, that 6 months of Scholars is included. But people were asking me, like, what's the difference between Scholars and certification? Huge difference. Scholars is if you're a client and you want to be coach. Certification is if you want to become a coach. You cannot sign up for Scholars and be a client and think that you're a coach. I mean, apparently you can, but it doesn't actually make you a coach. One of the coaching certification is a true transformation of your life. It is deep work. and we teach you how to hold space. So it's very different from Scholars. So I just wanted to make sure that I was clear that those are very different and that Scholars is included. Okay. Yes. Once you get certified, you get 6 months of it and all the support that Scholars offers. Yes. Okay. What do we have? You guys, is it time to coach, or are you guys in charge? Are you taking over? Okay. In between, I'll share text messages. How about that? What do you have? Hi. Sure. Actually, you know what? Don't come up because I don't have enough time. We have to speed coach right now.
Okay.
I think I should have more time than what y'all gave me. Give me more time back there. Okay.
You coached me back in September. Become a Coach Week.
Okay.
I'm Cheryl.
Hi.
I was a pastry chef who was considering CCP.
Okay.
After you coached me, I signed up. So I'm doing it right now.
Let's go! Awesome.
So I've done a lot of work, and I'm convinced it's all good. But there's one that I'm struggling with. It's the changing, like following the protocol. I haven't even started my food protocol. So I did my intentional model. I have the good thought. I can do it. But I couldn't feel it in my body.
Yeah. That's a good point. You need to be able to feel it in your body. It's not a good thought if you can't feel it in your body.
Right.
Yeah.
So I should just find something else that I could connect with?
Yes, you just have to keep brainstorming thoughts and trying them on until you get one. And don't think they need to sound pretty and fluffy. Like some of the best thoughts that I've ever had, one of them was life isn't fair. Set me free. Right? So just keep trying on thoughts until you can generate that emotion that you want.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Brooke.
You got this. You're welcome. Okay, we're going fast. What do you got?
Hi, Brooke.
Hi.
My name is Ashley Wolf. I'm the teacher mindset coach, and I empower school teachers to stand up for themselves.
I love it.
If you're a school teacher, stand up. Rosalind, Mick, I know you're here.
All right, we got to get right to the coaching. Come on now.
I want to offer you hope, Brooke.
You want to offer me hope?
I do.
Let's
and I want to offer hope to everyone in this room. Because I heard you say something yesterday that I believe was a thought error. And I lovingly want to offer you hope about what is happening in schools that you have helped create.
Let's go.
Because you've been in my ear since 2016, and I want to be in your ear.
Okay.
You said yesterday, wouldn't it be nice if we were teaching our kids this? Wouldn't it be nice if they were hearing these things? And then you said a thought that triggered empowerment in me, and it was, we don't do that. And the people sitting around me knew because I said, oh, but I do.
Amazing.
And I just want you to know that your work has come into classrooms. And I don't want you to think anymore that we don't do that.
Done.
I just
I'll
want
be like,
you
we're
to believe
doing this now.
Yes, I want you to believe this.
I love it.
That thought doesn't serve you. Where is that Chanel bag? I feel like I'm
agree.
going to throw up.
I just changed it. Done.
Yes. And
we're
so
doing
that
this in
thought
schools now. We didn't
doesn't
used to, but we're
serve
doing
you.
it now.
And it's happening without you even knowing, but you
I love it.
have to know.
Awesome.
You have to know.
Thank
so thank
you
you
so
for
much.
your work.
I appreciate it.
helps.
Okay, coming fast.
All right, coming in hot. Hi, I'm Wendy.
Hi.
And I'm here to take up space. Like, I have really been trying to figure out what this looks like as I'm growing from the version of me that I really, really love right now. I love who I am, and I keep on looking at how I want to be more me and what that means I'm going to let go of. And that scares the hell out of me because I've worked so hard and invested for right now, and I'm enjoying it. And now, what's that dream beyond? And I thank you because I'm now seeing that it's taking up more space. I've been living small. I see that. I have my beautiful protected space, and raising my voice, standing up here, my God, this is sweaty. But it's truly about creating that space so that I can connect with more people. That whole comment about abundance, it's in what you give not in what you have, not in what you receive. Like, all of this is so freaking powerful. I feel like I need to have a question right now, but it's more of like, just, it's all of this right now.
I love it.
It's being able to just take up that space. So I thank you, because that is it's me giving myself that permission to be even more.
Let's go. So good. All right, I'm ready to take someone virtual too. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sammy. I coach teens on all the work that you share with us. I take it and I adapt it for teens because I feel like it's so needed and important, and I love what I do. I consistently have this thought that no matter what my husband does, will always be more important than what I do. And so I am always the one to make the sacrifices and not do my dream.
Yeah.
Which is change the lives of teens with this work.
Right. I mean, that lets you off the hook though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, do you want to keep doing that?
Believing that thought?
Yeah, I mean, when you say a thought like, oh, what my husband does is so much more important than what I do, it sounds like, either you're giving reverence to him or you're being a victim, but really what it's doing is it's just letting you not have to show up, because you listen to everyone talking about showing up and making big decisions and putting their heart out there and risking something, right? Everybody's scared and uncomfortable. As long as your husband's the most important one, you don't have to feel those feelings, right? You can just hide.
Like in the day-to-day life, or like...
Of course it feels real, because that's what you're thinking and that's what you're creating and that's how you're not showing up. So what could you think instead?
What I do matters. Like, and I believe that. I truly believe that what I do matters.
Maybe it should be what I do is the most important work for the people that I'm doing it for.
I like that one.
That's a much better one. The other one's not serving you, but it's not serving you in a way that you're indulging it. It's not like it's this big negative thought that you don't want anything. You're kind of cuddling a little bit because it keeps you safe in some way in your brain. Make sense?
Yeah.
Listen, if you aren't making decisions, you know what it's like to be on the fence? You probably don't. Think about it. Right? You got one leg, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not comfortable. And so many of you are there. You think you're making a decision because you're on the fence. That is not making a decision. It's living in that miserable maybe. So if you are considering making a decision, one of the things that I think a lot of you are doing is it's like all these questions that I'm getting about people that are trying to decide if they're going to join certification. The questions are so irrelevant. It's like all of a sudden we have to know exactly every single detail of exactly how many minutes is it going to take me to do this, right? I need more details. I need more information. Now, all that is you just being afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. But there's not going to be an answer to a question about one of the details that's going to make you less afraid. And so just notice what's going on in your brain to prevent you from making a commitment. If that's truly what you want and you like your reason, I promise you, you don't need any more details. Because I think we think if we could just gather more information, like the number of questions that I was getting, I was back there with the virtuals, the number of questions that were just like, questions that really genuinely don't matter to the ultimate success. Like one of the questions was like, how long will it take me if it's self-paced? It's like, as long as you decide. But I need to know exactly how long it will take me. Well, this is what happens. You sign up, you get a success coach, you do Monday Hour 1, you get to plan it all out, and you get to decide. But people are like, well, how long will it take me? You get to decide how long it takes you. We just don't even feel. It's like signing up for schools, we're like, tell me what to do. We lose all of our power all of a sudden. It's so fascinating. This is truly something that you can decide. The fastest it was ever done was 1 month. That's amazing, right? You just get up and do it, but you can take more time if you need more time. That's how we designed it for you. Okay, next.
Hi, I'm Natalia Sanchez, and I'm dropping a possibility here.
Let's go. Drop it.
So, by December 2023, December 31st, I will make $215 by helping as a single mom.
Let's go.
By helping other mothers with anxiety to have a happier and a healthier life.
I love it. So good. Let's go, Dottie. What you got, Dottie? Hey.
Hey. So I am part-time consultant and part-time coach, and my coaching business so far has been very small, only a few clients, and I work like 20 hours a week for the client usually, and sometimes, like right now I'm in Montreal working like 40 to 50 hours a week for them for a particular part of the project. And I find myself getting into confusion and overwhelm and like, what should I do when I get into the 20 of hours?
Stop.
I know.
Talking. Whenever you hear yourself say, I find myself, whatever you say after that, you don't find yourself doing something. You find toddlers doing things. You walk in on them. You're not finding yourself doing anything, you're deciding. Please, everyone, change that. I find myself feeling confused about this decision. I find myself feeling like I would like to rest instead of get clients. I find myself, right?